Hello, welcome to ACP's quarantine special. And today, I was like, Nikki actually did today was doing an art lesson with my nieces and all their friends. So that's one reason why I've been bored out of my damn mind because typically Nikki has things to do, and I did artwork, and I was like, okay, I got 8 pages, my hands getting tired. I don't feel like inking those pages yet, so I'll set those to the side. So I went and played Diablo and played that for several hours, and then started watching everybody's videos. And I was like, "Well, shit, I'm all caught up. What am I going to do?" So, how's your day going?
It's not bad, man. Just we went to a little taco truck to get some lunch. They got these kick-ass burritos there,
Mm.
and I thought it was funny because they didn't have any of their tables out to sit on, and all these people were sitting in their car eating their food.
I love food trucks, man. I do.
Oh yeah. But
There's
uh, but they got this really kick-ass hot sauce there at
mm,
that taco truck. It's so good, man. It's so good. But we went there for lunch. I finished up that Gundam build time lapse video. Um, Finishing up right now the Cliff Jumper Earthrise Cliff Jumper review. Um, and playing Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and I still don't understand how it's 3:30.
no, right? It's like it's like this day for me has been like dragging. It's like been like a snail pace, and I guess it's because I got up really early this morning and I did my stretches and the stuff that I typically do early in the morning. And I was like, okay, typically I'll go back and sit and have a cup of coffee and just chill out. But my brain was so active, so I started drawing. And typically when that happens, speaking of that, have you been doing any new artwork?
Yeah, I sent you a picture. I sent you a text message with it.
Did you? I got
Yeah,
my.
I got to finish. Got to finish the coloring, and I got to finish the Kirby dots. But other than that, um, that's really basically been it with work and everything else going on around here. I actually, what's funny is now that I have the downtime, I don't have an excuse not to have that picture finished by at least tomorrow.
For some reason, it's not showing that you sent me. I got the KK and but not the artwork.
Oh man, hold on. Let me do this. I'll throw it to you via Instagram because that seems to work better than crappy cell phone reception.
I don't know, right? Well, welcome, hey GFN Geek. Hope you're having a good day today. Uh, my sister was at work and she called me and she's like, I had to be an ass to somebody, and I was like, for her, she's very tenderhearted, and I'm like, and for it to be that way, it had to be like something pretty serious because she's like lets water off the duck's back. I mean, she's so mellow, and she goes, yeah, this lady came in with her 6 kids, and they were all coughing and hacking, and
Nope.
she was like, I need you to fix my phone. She says, I need you to get out of my store. She's like, I was like, really? She says, yeah, I did. She says, I pulled a you. She's like, what do you mean? She says, there's a sign that it clearly says that the store is only open for people to come in and pay their bills. That's it. We're not fixing phones, and sure as hell are not going to touch your phone if you're sitting there hacking up a lung. So,
Yeah, for sure. I honestly, I would no. Um, I think I told you the story. I think on the podcast
hey, Crimson.
about the lady who was in Target and she was sneezing and she wasn't covering her face and it looked like a Windex bottle spraying out of her face.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
nope, not nope. Mm-mm. That is a not today Satan kind of.
Right? Oh man.
So, there you go. I just sent it over via Instagram.
Oh, okay, I got it now. I was gonna...
But yeah, and then did you hear about GameStop? What's going on at GameStop? They
No.
did. Well, what's his name? Cody something, whatever. He's got a. So basically, this former YouTube employee, this former GameStop employee, he snuck onto a conference call, the conference call that you want to talk about while all this stuff is going on, right?
Right.
And he listened, and all he did was listen. He didn't talk. And see, here's the thing: as working at GameStop, when you're on a conference call, it hit. Okay, so the website. Goddamn, I'm tired. The guy's channel is Camelot 331, and so basically, when you're on this conference call, when you talk, everyone hears you, but nobody knows you're there if you don't talk, right? And if anybody has the phone number and the access code, you can get onto these conference calls. It's really easy.
Oh wow.
So I guess somebody gave him the phone number and the ID, the stuff to get in or whatever. But the conference call was really, really messed up. Basically, GameStop isn't closing because they don't want to lose out on money, and there is a lot of the questions were basically like, what do we do to protect ourselves? We've got all these people coming in that could be sick. They, do we take in trades? Do we do still, business as normal? And all that crazy stuff. And they're basically like, yep, business as usual. We know the what is it? The Disease Health Center of the World, whatever they're called. The World Health. Yeah. They said that, everything's in danger and everybody should stay home, but our government hasn't officially said anything yet about it. It was just a mess, man. And one guy just flat out asked him, he goes, okay, so when is this company going to stop putting profits over people? When is that going to happen? And it was just crazy. It's a good 45-minute conference call, and it really shows why this company, like, at one point this lady asked a question about what are they supposed to do, because one of her employees basically self-quarantined herself, and she just wasn't going to deal with this or anything. And the lady's response, regional manager's response, was to basically, if you poll everyone in corporate's been working more hours than people at the store level. Okay, that's not what the lady asked, though.
Right.
Well, so it's like, okay, are you going to answer the question, or is that going to be your answer? And apparently most, if not all of their offices are working from home, but they say that they're not taking phone calls at the moment because the phones have been completely, people calling in constantly and completely flooded with phone calls and stuff. So they turn the phones off in the corporate offices and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, okay. That's corporate speak for you guys are working from home and making us, the worker bees and stuff put their lives at risk. And
yeah,
it's just a nightmare, man. And they're talking about how they got hand sanitizer and Lysol and stuff coming. And if someone gets sick, if they find out a store is infected, they'll send in a cleaning crew.
Here's the thing: this morning's update from the CDC came out and said that the virus can actually stay on plastic and cardboard and survive.
Yeah,
I was like, "Holy shit! Really? This is crazy." And GameStop, that's all they have is plastic and cardboard in their store. It's kind of like what I was playing the devil's advocate on your thing when we were talking about those two jackasses from Tennessee. But Wilbur and I, at the very end, he wanted to, after I did the interview with him, he was like, "Hey, you got time to talk for a second?" Because he's really concerned because over there, he said the numbers are just getting higher and higher, and he says, and people are not taking it serious. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He says, I know that you and Nikki have health issues. What are y'all doing? I said, honestly, we're not going out. We've quarantined ourselves in the house. Nikki's mom has brought us food, and she puts it at the back door. I'll go back there. I have clothes I put on. I get it, bring the stuff in, spray it off just to be protective because, this thing also attacks the kidneys. I was like, shit, it's crazy. Hello, Crimson.
Hey.
Hello. Input. Hello, autocorrect primer. How's everybody doing today?
Bored out of my mind. That's why I was telling input. I was like, I'm going stir crazy today. I don't know why, but
I could only imagine why. that fever's starting to set in there, brother. You've been in that Pornhub closet too long.
Right? It's like you can only do so much Pornhub before you get blistered. And it's like
I tell you what, man, it's like you run out of tissues, you start realizing there's toilet paper, and I don't know if that's going to be worth the toilet paper at this point.
Right. Oh man. Gosh knows, but yeah, I was like, I got up this morning, did my normal routine, and did my heart check and everything that I was supposed to, and then for some reason I was like already wired, and this was like at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I started drawing and doing artwork for the new book, for new pages, and for the website.
Awesome.
And got 8 pages done, so I haven't inked them yet, but I got 8 pages done. I was like, well, shit, I don't want to draw anymore. My hands getting cramped. What do I want to do? Oh, I'll play video games. So I've been playing Diablo. And then I realized, shit, I'm about to beat Diablo. I don't want to beat it yet. It's like,
now that's the new one that came out, right? Diablo 4 or is it 16? Which one is that?
I know. It's like this one is the Ultimate Pack, and it's the 4th one, and it has it also came with the first 3, so you could play 1, 2, and 3 on it on Xbox One, and the final one. So I'm now at the 4th one with the extra mount pages.
Cool.
And so my sister called me and she says, I got you some more games coming to you. And I was like, really? I said, I love you so much. She's really good to us, but she's like, I had to be an ass. And I was like, that's for her to be an ass. That's like, what the hell happened? Did somebody like, cut your arms off or whatever? Because I mean, she's a very passive, doesn't get angry. She says, well, had this lady came in with 6 kids and they were all hacking and coughing, and she wanted me to mess with her phone. And she said, I need you to fix my phone. She says, I need you to get the hell out of my store. I was like,
yeah, I was hearing a little bit of that when I was in the chat, but I was like, man, when I went to Target, man, I don't even know what day that was now. Tuesday, I think. The days are starting to run together.
Yeah, they are.
There's a lady that had like 6 kids with her. Now I get it. There's no school. But I was like, why did you bring all 6 of your kids? They're running around like crazy, touching everything. And I say that, in the most Louisiana accent I can, is that everything they were touching. So
God bless them.
I don't know why I went Louisiana. We were watching True Blood not too long ago. Anyway, so
I love that show.
But seriously, like I was just like, are you? And so then I didn't realize this, but if you're sick, what they're doing and you're self-quarantining yourself, they're not like locking you up or putting you in a hazmat thing in a hospital. First of all, there's no room. Second of all, they're not going to be able to do that anyway. So they said, okay, just go home, quarantine yourself, wear a mask if you got to go out, wear gloves. So I didn't know that at the time, and so then I realized there were a couple of people that were a little elderly that were wearing masks that had gloves, and I'm like, I didn't hear them coughing, didn't hear them sneezing and all that stuff, and I was just like, what the crap? Like, so there are infected people hanging around here, and meanwhile you got this lady with 6 kids running around like crazy doing, well, I don't know what. So It's a little nuts out there. It's very tense right now. Today it wasn't as bad, mainly because stuff's getting restocked. Target seems to be a really good place to go get milk because it is gone completely from Walmart. But I like Brahms milk myself, so I'm fine on Brahms milk. But Target seems to be a little cache of it. But I'm just a little shocked. I did go out today because there was a couple things we had to get. We got hot dogs too because we've been waiting for those hot dogs to come back, and I like those turkey dogs from Oscar Mayer. They're really good.
They are good.
And they're cheap. Yeah. No nitrates, man. No
That's
nitrates.
Hello, Kato. How you doing?
Kato. It's Kato. That's what we should do. Okay, let's do it all in unison.
Okay.
It's Kato. Oh,
You're supposed to count down. Man.
Oh, sorry. I'm pretty wired too because I have like a vanilla Coke in me, so I'm pretty stoked.
All right, so 3, 2, 1.
It's Kato.
Okay, that still suck. Anyway,
Hey, we're making Kato laugh so hard right now he can't even type his response, so that's good.
That's trademark.
Trademarked infringement. Love it.
He's probably mad because he's out there punching all those kids and stuff to get those toys.
That was hilarious watching that. That was great.
Oh,
that was great. That was an awesome format input. Did Kato or who came up with all that?
That was Kato. That was Kato's idea. It's gonna be it's supposed to be like one of those old 70s game shows kind of things.
Yeah, like the Newlywed Show or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Was that on Larkins last night?
Yeah, it was on Larkins.
It was hysterical, man. I think I caught like the last. No, I think you guys had just started, and I got in there. I got in there a little late, but you guys had already gone through a couple questions. But I was glad I was able to get in there, and I missed freaking the lives. So here's the whole deal. If you don't, I'm watching your guys' videos. So in theory, YouTube should say, oh, you like to watch their videos. Okay, well, we'll keep showing you new stuff and we'll let you know when they go live. Larkin, Kato, Input, Autocorrect Primer, Roland Redneck Reviews, Adamantium Matrix, all you guys had your notifications turned off. And I'm like, what?
Well,
so I had to turn them all on yesterday.
Larkins was turned off. I didn't know that they had a live stream that they were doing last night. And
exactly.
I saw there was a new post, and I was like, oh, well, there's Input and there's all the guys. And I'm like, why didn't I get this? And it didn't have the bell.
Exactly. On. Yep.
And here's the thing. So last night I subscribed to M3, right? And I've been subscribed to him for a while. And when I went to his channel, I wasn't even subscribed. And I'm going, what the hell? I've been subscribed. It's done that to me to Patriot Prime. I had to resubscribe to him about a month ago because I wasn't getting notifications from him. And I thought he wasn't doing anything for a month and a half.
Oh,
right?
He was another one I had to do also. And I had to do, oh gosh, Rodimus.
Primal?
Yes.
Yeah, Rodimus Primal. Yeah.
Because
I haven't had it's been a while since I've been unsubscribed from somebody because YouTube has done that to me before. Devasia Mentality, he is also known as Toy Color Wars Z or Devasia Motion, and he's in the Discord and stuff, and he's got his own. But I was subscribed to both of his channels, and then all of a sudden his Let's Play channel was unsubscribed, but he was posting updates there for it. Now he posts them on both channels, but at the time he was only posting updates on the one that had more subscribers. And I saw it and I was like, what the hell, man? Like, you've been posting stuff over here the whole time, but why have I gotten it? So I resubscribed, and then we got to talking and stuff. He's like, yeah, he's had that happen before too. So I don't know why YouTube thinks that's a good idea to unsubscribe us from people.
Well, I put up what Kato said because I was wondering why my Batman video got flagged. So I guess that makes sense if it's being ran by bots.
Oh yeah. There's nobody. They're based. They have a lot of offices there in California. So I got that. I think that's up on when you go to the Creator Studio, it shows you that actually. It actually tells you that, which was crazy. Because that was really good information. and
Yeah,
YouTube
like-
gave it to us without having to click on anything.
Shit, and I don't even pay that stuff any attention. Anything that's that little blue bar up there, I just click. Don't. I should have looked at it. Okay.
Well, I look at it every once in a while because I want to, because I now am at 150 subscribers, and
Awesome.
that is freaking awesome. Because I think I was like 5 away on Saturday, wasn't I?
Mm-hmm.
So this is crazy,
I finally got back.
and I'm working on content too. So
Yeah.
that's going to be really exciting. I'll have something out for people.
I was like, I got to 180. I got back to 180, 179.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I was like, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. And
And input is getting up there with his freaking awesome Gunpla build thing that I haven't commented on yet, but I watched it.
right.
Oh,
I'm
the
at
stop
like
motion.
160, 167 now. Woo.
Awesome.
No.
Awesome.
What,
Not
what's
much.
that? How's that thing go? Pow, pow, pow. How's that go? I forget.
Pow.
There you go. So you do the best one. My wife did that the other day, and I was just like, "Have you been watching Input?"
But yeah, it was Optimus Wilbur's. It was a lot of fun talking to him. We got off the thing because I'm trying to keep those only like an hour, but we kind of went over an hour and a half. And next thing we know, when I got us off the thing, we talked for like almost 2 hours. I was like, Lord. He's like, oh shoot, I gotta go to bed. It's like, you know, he's like,
Well,
yeah.
I like Ninja Bill's discussion. That was really cool. A lot of things I didn't even know about Ninja Bill, and I've been watching his videos and talking with him on live streams. I was just like, because I knew he was very anti third party, but I didn't know how anti third party he was. But I totally understand it. Like, I mean, that's true. That's you know, I'm very much like that too, where brands meant something, but unfortunately it doesn't nowadays, and it sucks because I was listening to old Shattered Cast Uncut, which is what Deluxe is on, and Bobby Skullface are on old ones. They actually had that very discussion of what Ninja Bill was talking about, and they kind of had agreed to disagree, but basically what it was is that what we've all been talking, even the two of us have talked about is that, or the three of us, the three of us have talked about that third party has made Hasbro step their game up no matter what, because even though they're not going on them unless they come out and say their thing is called Optimus Prime or their thing looks like Unicron at the same time they're trying to do a crowdfund,
Right.
That's still making it so that they're filling in different niche, and they're definitely making sure that Hasbro's up on their game too, because the Siege line is a clear showing of that they've learned that third party, even though there's not a lot of generations third party, but they're feeling the hurt from that, and they're realizing that they need to up it to get those people back in that left for Combiner Wars, like I did. I left during that time and kind of stopped collecting because of the hollowness. But Siege brought me back in.
Welcome.
I don't know. First of all, hey Larkin, welcome in, man. And I had a blast too last night, Kato. But the see, people say third party made Hasbro step their game up, and to be honest, I don't know if that's 100% true. I think it's more coincidental than anything. I think that because if you look, the combiners, for them to go back to combiners the way they did was almost experimental with Combiner Wars.
Mm-hmm.
You had those those other combiners came out 2010 or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
and
the Fans Project, Toy World, Hercules, right?
No, I'm talking about from Hasbro. You had the Power Link.
The Power Links one. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that was kind of experimental, but there's only like 3 ways of combiners, and each wave, the G1 combiners, Power Links, and then Combiner Wars, that all the Combiner Wars style, that's all experimental on how to do something, I guess, right? And then third party, when they started third party, for the longest time, I wouldn't buy third party because third party was trash for a long time. Really crappy.
For me, I don't know if it was trash. For a lot of what I saw it was just too much for what you got. Like, it was too much money for what you got if you didn't buy from Hasbro.
Well, everything that third party that I handled back in the day, whether it be an upgrade kit, whether it be a
Plastic was really
figure,
cheap
yeah, the plastic felt really
Mm.
cheap, and it
And
would
broke.
snap during transformation.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Those Tetra
Um,
Jets from Impossible Toys, that's probably a good example of that.
That's a
Yeah.
perfect example.
Perfect. Perfect.
So I can't. So because of all of that, I think it was just a happy coincidence that Hasbro kind of stepped their game up when they did, when third party was stepping their game up. Because I mean, let's be honest, when Combiner Wars was out, you had Fans Project or Fans whatever Minosaur, and that held together really poorly, right?
Mhm.
I think everybody kind of stepped their game up around the same time. I don't think Hasbro did it because of third party. I think their experimental phase of certain things was kind of done and over with, and they were able to move forward with different things. So that's all I think it is, because Hasbro's not doing those giant sized Transformers anymore, third party
Right.
size, masterpiece size anymore. They're really the only company doing Chug.
Mhm.
Um, and
Generations. Chug is a bad word. It's a 4-letter word. Input is a good 4-letter word that we like. No, just messing with you.
But Kato's not.
Hasbro,
Hey, that just got silent.
Everybody was
Kato,
reading
so they-
Kato's comment.
It's like, damn, that guy goes silent. It's like, boop, boop.
See, Larkin says Chug triggers him too. Yeah, it's generations, man. It's been generations since Fall of Cybertron. Larkin knows what's up.
But and that's the thing, is that I think that's also why Hasbro doesn't go after the third party, because really third party doesn't really make the generations scale. They kind of stay away from that. They go with the masterpiece size, and they go with the legend size, and that's pretty much the two. And that could be another reason why they don't go after third party companies. It's because they're really not it's not a blatant same size, same characters like Zeta did with Unicron. I think the only reason-
So,
real quick, Kato. Just so you know, Kato, you can't spell Kato without K-O.
that's right. Dude, when he does knockoff reviews, that's what you got to do, Kato. You should say that. It's like, you can't spell K-O without Kato.
Actually, he can't. It's copyright infringement. It's trademarked.
Yeah, that's totally. Yeah, just do whatever Input says. He's got the better ideas.
your mascot, Kato, should be that Bumblebee. That should be your third party mascot for your channel, right there.
Hey, I've been reading the IDW comics, and I'm almost to phase 2. And there's some really messed up looking pictures of a Bumblebee that transforms into a Volkswagen. I could probably find some of that art for you, Kato. But that is just slap on a Bayverse Bumblebee face, and you'll be fine.
Bam.
Bumblebee gets shot a lot in this IDW comics. I'll tell you what.
Oh, dude! Eventually, he starts walking around with a cane.
I've seen those pictures. Yeah, isn't it? Well, isn't it? Is a cane or is it a hammer?
It's a cane. It's a Cybertronian cane. But what's funny is at one
you're
point,
talking about the not the new stuff.
No.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the
he
old
does
stuff.
walk around with a cane, and
yeah, he walks around. He walks around with a cane, and at one point, Ratchet's like, "Dude, why are you still using the cane? I told you I got the parts to fix you." And then Bumblebee cuts him off, and he just starts talking about like flying to some random moon for a vacation or something. It's super weird. It's like Bumblebee has PTSD, right? He don't want to be involved with it anymore. So
Man, even Cup didn't have a cane. He just had a little cigar coping
half the
mechanism.
maintenance.
well, Cup had that cigar because he was being controlled by Prowl, and that was Prowl's control device over Cup.
What? I don't think so. That's not how it was explained. It was just a coping mechanism. Was that how
Sure.
Prowl was able to communicate with Cup?
Yep.
Prowl was an
Oh.
ass.
Yeah. And then
Hmm.
come to find out from the shadows, Prowl was injecting ideas into Cup's head. Like Cup wasn't free thinking during fights or battles or wartime or anything. It was all Prowl.
Well, he was pretty messed up. So, I mean, he killed a lot of Autobots.
I'll tell you this, dude. That's IDW Prowl is why I hate Prowl in every incarnation now. Prowl used to be like in my top 5 favorites, and I don't mean that in a bad way when I say that, right? Like I feel like Prowl was written so well that now every time I see Prowl, any Prowl, I want to punch Prowl right in the face for what IDW Prowl did to everybody. Like,
Man, that's why you won't buy his toy in the store, isn't it?
no, actually, that Siege Prowl looks like crap. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't like the way it looks, like the windshields and.
You're just like down with the man.
I love the stop motion I did for Input Court. I love it. Yes, definitely.
Dealing with the man. I ain't dealing with. Oh,
Bumblebee was committing insurance fraud.
yes,
Yeah.
he was.
He was collecting that Tyrest Accord insurance money right there.
Oh man.
Actually, I came up with the script for Siege Megatron. Going to court over illegally owning a gun, and come to find out all the crime was committed by G1 Megatron. And during the courtroom session, he's trying to plead his case about how he doesn't own a gun, he can't transform into a gun, and all this other stuff. And then the judge is still screaming innocent, and then he gets thrown in jail. So
The system doesn't work for him.
no, system doesn't work for anybody, but
That's true.
it's broken. But yeah.
So, something I was trying to remember what. Oh, real quick, what you guys were talking about with GameStop. That's it's kind of what I hopped in for because they were already on their way out as a company.
GameStop is already closing half their stores this year, and
Right.
I honestly think that this whole virus and all this everything that's going around is really going to speed that process up.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what my sentiment is that this is going to be their last situation. So,
And if they keep saying that if they can make it to Christmas for the PS5 and all that other stuff, but here's the thing though, the PS4 was this is the PS4 was the first console generation where I did not get excited for it. I could care less. I didn't see a point in it at all. There was all the games that were on PS3 were being ported to PS4. I was like, well, I'm not going to play Grand Theft Auto 5 again. I'm not going to pay $60 for a game I can get for $20. I'm not going to, so there really wasn't no excitement.
but it's in 4K.
Well, first of all, it's not a true 4K. It's a upscaled 1080p to 4K. So true 4K is noticeably different between an upscaled 4K and a true 4K.
Well, they're already getting bad things with the PlayStation 5.
The PlayStation 5 is already like, man, I watched the keynote for the PlayStation 5, and first of all, keynote is just all it is just corporate jargon for their investors. But it was so game developer kiss ass heavy that it was disgusting. And they were basically saying that they're making a computer with a solid state drive. Okay, that's cool, but you can do that with the PS4. Hell, you could do that with the PS3, right? And that's pretty much all it is. It's and because of it, their load times are roughly, microseconds compared to 30 seconds and stuff. So if you're gonna base your sole entire premise of a new console on look, it loads faster, I'm out. Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's also the fact it's already got bugs, and if you look and see, they're already saying they're not going to have all those worked out before the first generation gets released. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. If you already know there's issues with it, why are you still pushing it?
Well, because all they got to do is release a patch and it updates and it fixes it. See, but the GameStop is talking about if they can hold on to the release of Christmas for the PS5 this year, then they'll be okay. Because if you look about 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was when the Switch came out, they were basically on the verge of bankruptcy anyway, and the Switch saved them. Yeah. And they were selling bundles. Only way you can buy a Switch was in a $500 bundle with some extra controllers and some games. And that's what saved them
That's the reason why I didn't buy the Switch.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, but
Switch.
that stuff's the PlayStation's made in China, right? Aren't those components made in China?
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of it, but still, I mean,
So wouldn't
the
that end up getting kind of pushed back anyway? Because
Well,
That's what
they
I
may
thought.
not even make it to
So
that
they're-
season.
they're saying Christmas this year. Sony is saying
Yeah.
Christmas this year. If you follow any kind of gaming tradition or anything else, it always gets pushed back a month, maybe 2 months or something along those lines. Like, the console never releases on date when they say it's going to release. Hell, the Sega Saturn came out 6 months early to get a jump on the competition, and that flopped because of that 6-month jump. But when they do stuff like that, it always gets pushed back. They say Christmas this year, which would be ideal for them because it's a $500, $600 Christmas gift, right? But Sony is also talking about a $500 console. Well, if you learned anything from their past experiences with the PS3, when the PS3 launched and Xbox One launched at $400, no one's paying that. Or
Well, that-
$500, sorry, no one's paying that.
Well, and you also you got to take into consideration the stuff that's going on right now with just this virus.
Right,
I
no,
mean,
exactly.
People aren't working. I mean, you had unemployment in the past 3 days had over 16,000 people file.
Right.
So, and typically those people that are filing are typically the gamers. They're the middle class or the, low income class that gets those game systems. And then you also have Xbox is coming out with their new console.
Yeah. And the thing is too, you got to look for
waffles.
That's a nice transformer from Hasbro you got there.
I know. It's going to transform into my stomach.
Oh. All that waffling going on.
It's more gluten than meets the eye.
Don't pee in a bucket now.
I want to eat this.
Don't be in a bucket.
I do have my bucket though.
But
I don't want to know where that syrup is coming from, ACP.
But you also got to look at too. There's a sweet spot, right? There's a sweet spot for pricing, and it's $300 for a new console. You can't really go over that because people lose interest. A case in point, again, I bring up the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn launched at $400, and it launched 6 months early, and no one cared because they knew the PS1 was going to come out at $300. They knew the N64 was coming out, and that was $300 when it launched. You can't, when the Switch came out, Switch was $300, still $300, and it sold crazy amounts because it was the price, $300, and you couldn't keep it in stock. I guarantee you the Switch was $400, people would have second guessed it in a heartbeat. So, GameStop is relying on the PS5 to pull them out, but I don't think it's going to happen. First of all, you got to make it. And if you're going to close half your stores within the year, that's not really making it, really, per se, right?
Right. Well, they can't keep relying on a new console release to help keep them afloat. That's just unsustainable, Absolutely. And that's where they've gotten to. So they're trying to get into the kind of vintage, kind of the Marvel collector, kind of Jurassic World 6-inch kind of figures and stuff, and it's not working out for them because, for one thing, they have no idea what they're doing. The second thing is that they had pre-orders like so this, and you guys aren't. I'm kind of into the Dino YouTubers, right? That kind of group too, and GameStop had all these pre-orders for the original Jurassic Park Velociraptor in a 6-inch scale, 1/18, or I'm sorry, 1/12, and they had a 6-inch Ian Malcolm or Jeff Goldblum figure. They were supposed to be exclusives last year for around August to October, and they had all these pre-orders, and then GameStop canceled a ton of them. Why? Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea why. They never explained why. They just said there was like I was like, I don't know. Everybody who made a pre-order is going to have to make a pre-order again. Well, then what happened? People who weren't in the know, or the people who found out too late, tried to pre-order what they had already pre-ordered, and they couldn't because pre-order was sold out. And it's like, well, because it's like what Amazon was doing, you know, with the Astro Train and the Earthrise and some of the last wave of the Siege.
Yeah.
How can you allow a pre-order if if you're not going to honor that, or at least honor it until it actually does become available, or give the customer a choice? Hey, look, this may not be available because we're only allowed this many quantity, and you're on the last one in, you know, last one to pre-order. You're not going to get your stuff. So we got to do it in order of priority, and which is totally fair and it's totally fine. People get that. People still get upset, but people should understand that's a fair thing to do. If you were the one that pre-ordered at 12:01 a.m., somebody pre-ordered at 12:02, that 12:01 a.m. guy is going to get it. So they should do that. They don't do that. So they canceled everybody. Some people got them, some people didn't. Some people didn't get canceled. And it wasn't like a situation of like, well, it was the people who didn't have their card or didn't, you know, whatever. Right? No, it wasn't that at all. It was completely just the loot. They just lost their pre-order. And
the other thing,
and then Amazon had a ton of them. So it was supposed to be a GameStop exclusive, but how did Amazon get a whole bunch of Raptors? So, and it was kind of coming to crunch time, so I had to cancel mine, but I was going to have a bunch of them in, but I decided not to get them. Plus, they're coming out with the Tiger Raptor, and that's the one I want. So.
Well, the other thing too is GameStop. You know, their Marvel Legends, they're the figures that sell really well, like Doctor Doom or something like that, like the well more known characters. They're jacking their prices up to $30 a figure.
Yeah.
Well,
they did do that,
Yes.
and that was dumb of them because it created a huge PR nightmare for them.
Well, it's not only does it create the PR nightmare, it's not an exclusive.
Nope.
I can go to Walmart and buy Doctor Doom for $20. I'm sorry, just because you think you're special enough to charge me $30 for a 6-inch figure that I've been spending $20 on for the last 12 years that they've been back. Marvel Legends has been back. I don't think so. You know, it's not going to happen, right? Like, if I'm spending $30 on eBay, then I'm paying for shipping. That's PayPal fees. That's eBay fees, all within that $30.
Well, Hasbro should have stepped in on that too, though. When they started,
so Hasbro wouldn't though, because that's their customer that already paid them, and then they're going to charge whatever they want because it's not Hasbro's fault. It was clearly GameStop making the error, the blunder, and they don't understand. This is them not understand. This is them. Okay, somebody's in the store, great. We'll charge you $10 more for coming in. What? No, I'm here in the store helping you stay in business, or I could have ordered it online and not left. So
here's the thing about me is that I collect the Dragon Ball Stars line, right? It's the 6-inch Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Superstars, whatever line. And they did a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And as we all know, Input loves him some Vegeta. So I go to ThinkGeek and I
thought you were going to say something else.
I did too. I was like, oh, okay.
So I go to ThinkGeek and I go to GameStop, and if you look at their website, that Vegeta was $19.99 on both their websites, and ThinkGeek is owned by GameStop.
Yes.
So I go and I'm like, well, screw it, I'll just get it in their store. It's $20. So I go to their stores and they're $25. And I go to the guy at ThinkGeek and I'm like, hey man, will you price match your website?
And they say no, because they don't know what they're doing.
Well, no, they told me no, and I got hit with this beautiful line. This is the greatest line I've ever heard. Well, after you pay for shipping on our site, it's $25 anyway. Okay. And my retort was real simple. Yeah, but here's the thing, Scooter. I'm not paying for a service right now that I get charged for online. When I pay for shipping, I'm paying for the service. Yeah. I'm not paying for the service right here in the store, am I? So I just left it on the counter and walked out. Like, just, okay, forget this guy. So then I go to GameStop because GameStop has price matched their website for me before. And thinking that, hey, that was just a, just maybe like the new guy just didn't know or whatever, right? And first of all, the reason why I even said it like that was because he got an attitude with me for even asking.
Oh yeah, I totally understand. Yeah.
And I was like, no, man. First of all, you catch, more ants with honey, right? So then you do with shit. So
then you do with a baseball bat.
Right, exactly. Or a ski mask and a shotgun when you go back. for free.
Um,
Actually, if you walk into a Think Geek or GameStop with a ski mask and a shotgun, I think you actually save much more money because sometimes they pay you.
Well, yeah, no, that's look. I would just walk.
No, don't do that, anybody. Don't do that. Just
I would
kidding.
just walk in with the ski mask and the shotgun and just be like, "I am here for the Vegeta," and then get my Vegeta and leave. That'd be it, right? But GameStop even told me the same thing. You know, they don't price match their website, and I was like, why? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because if I spend $40 on their website, I get free shipping at $25 and over.
Right.
So, but if I go into the store and there's two figures I want, that's $40 or $50, and it's $40 on their website, free ship, right? So it's just like, I don't understand their mentality or their thought process on any of this stuff at all.
Yeah.
Like you're competing with yourself. Stop it.
Well,
I was unaware.
Not learning what Toys R Us didn't learn. I mean, for a while there, Toys R Us wouldn't price match even their own store stuff. The GameStop is taking it where they're taking a commodity and they're sitting there saying that there's a fan base, and they're treating it as if they're a comic book store that can change the prices and people are going to just buy it because it's there. I mean, that's the reason why they try to do those exclusive comics, which was a failure.
Yep.
It's why they also did the Funko Thundercats, which they just, every store I went to, they just had them like thrown on the shelf and they were all beat up, and they don't take care of them. They don't really take care of the figures. They might now, but the stores I've gone to are around us. That's the one place I would never buy from.
And here's,
Go ahead,
Chris.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
And we're too damn pleasant, man.
Judo chopper. No, I was gonna say, like, so here's the thing with the GameStops in my area is they sell socks. Who goes into GameStop for socks? And I don't mean like Hanes or something, like they're specialty Sonic the Hedgehog, Doom, stuff like that on them, but they're still socks.
Right.
I'm not going in the game. So your corporate idea honcho guy at the top of the headquarters decided, hey, you know what gamers want? Socks. No, bro. We want a controller and a game and maybe a collector's edition every now and then. Right? Socks. Do they have an entire section dedicated in their store to socks?
Well, that's what is it? Store we had here, FYE, kept getting like For Your Entertainment. Like they're kind of like they kind of started out, at least for us here, they started out as like a redo of Suncoast, where you had like a lot of CDs, you had a lot of DVDs. Then they started moving toward collectibles, and they started moving to exclusive collectibles. Then they started making half their store look like a Forever 20, but with gamerware. Then they started getting in these box sets and these higher end toy collectibles like NECA and anything below S8's Monster Arts or anything that was Tamashii Nations related. They were kind of not going up to that threshold. But then they'd have mugs. And then what would happen? Their apparel, half of it would go to clearance, and then it would sell. Nobody's going to spend $30 for a shirt that has a picture of Overwatch on it or Fortnite or whatever, unless it doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing with FYE. I hadn't been in one for years because they all closed down here, and whenever we went up,
and they overpriced everything. Kato's right.
Yeah,
they overpriced everything.
They had the A Team. I think it was like season 1 of the A Team for $35, and I'm sitting here going, first of all, this DVD set's been out for how long now?
Right.
And I don't see anybody spending more than $10 on this, and you got it marked at 35, like in their used section too, of all things, like $35 for A Team season 1. And I'm just thinking, no. And then you just go down the list, and you got Airwolf, the complete series was like $170 or something. And
you could get every version of the Taken movie, like every Taken 2, Taken 3, Taken 4 as well.
Okay.
With what's his face there. Like I would see that. Like They'd have like every sequel to Taken. Like, who's buying all these?
And that's the thing is like, you know, when I was in high school, when I would go into FYE, it was movies and CDs, and the store was huge.
Right.
And going into that one up there, I was dumbfounded because I mean, CDs really aren't a thing anymore. Vinyl is a thing, which I really don't understand how vinyl is a thing and CDs aren't, but whatever. I feel like that's to steal a phrase is a discussion for another time, right? But the store was really small, and it was a lot of shirts, a lot of toys, some DVDs, and some Blu-rays. But the Blu-rays and the DVDs were everything that you could buy at a Walmart or a Target or Netflix or whatever at that point. There was nothing special there that you would have to get, you know? And then the stuff that was special, I guess, like Airwolf, again, Amazon got the whole series for $40. Why spend $170 there? Made no sense. So.
And that's the thing, and that's we had the FYE, and it was at what was known as Concord Mills Mall, and it was a big store, but it was always empty, you know, because everything was overpriced. And I don't go to GameStop, you know, not anymore. Not now. I can get my games offline. But yeah, I don't understand. And plus, now they're having like you said, their employees go to work during this time, and I'm going, it seems like they're bleeding out, and they don't know where to stop the bleeding.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this, man. Like, in all honesty, after I listened to that conference call today, you know, I walk away from companies, you know. Mm-hmm. GameStop, I am 100% done with. If I'm out. I will not buy. I will not spend my money there. ThinkGeek, anything like that anymore. Any company that's associated with them because of that. You know, you can't treat people like that and expect to get away with it, especially employees.
Yeah, and the thing is that especially even with the government coming out with these different stimulant packs for these businesses for the employees. That's the thing that I've just been shocked by too.
Well, yeah, and I think GameStop knew that before anything was going to happen, and that's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to get that sweet government cashola. Mm-hmm. But you know, what's funny is we were talking today. Me and Oracle were talking today, and I asked her, "It's like, what are you going to spend your $1,000 on?" And she's like, "I have no idea." And I go, "Well, mine's spent." That black and purple Toy World constructor and some audio equipment. I'm done.
That's funny because I told Nick, I said, I'm going to finally be able to get me the Omega Supreme.
Oh yeah. Oh crap! I didn't even think about that. Okay, Omega Supreme. That's top of my list. That's the top of my apocalypse list.
Right? I'm like, the Omega Supreme will be mine. Apocalypse be damned. If that's how I had to get it, good. I'm sorry for everyone else out there.
So that said, about let me let's see if I can do this. Okay, so I gotta tell you, I saw this at Best Buy of all places. They have like everything Earthrise right now. Best Buy is like the best place to find Earthrise. Go figure. Yeah. This is all Input's fault.
Yeah, boy.
I now have Earthrise Optimus Prime. I got Siege Prime over here. He's like, "What are you doing, Christopher?" Or Crimson Raptors. Christopher's my name. Everybody knows that. But then over here got like so animated. He's like, "Oh, it's like I'm being replaced."
Hey, you know what's awesome? You know what's awesome about ER Prime, right? Is that next time you buy the cartoon accurate Earthrise Prime, those primes have open and closing hands, so you can actually articulate their emotions better when you buy another one.
Sweet.
Like you actually have a face palm and stuff, like for real face palm.
And that right there is number 2 on my list to get.
So my deal was, and what sold it to me was Input's review. You know, I mean, everybody was making trailer, videos like Larkin and Kato, and it was funny. It's like, wait, did Kato make one? I forget. There's so many people making one. But I was like, but what about the quality of that trailer? And then Input was showing me that I don't know if it was on a stream or if it was off stream or something, and he was telling me about how, like, how strong that plastic was. He was trying to bend it, and I was just like, damn it, I'm gonna have to buy it now.
Yeah, I saw that too when he was showing us. I was like,
yeah.
But now,
I think it was the review. Input.
Yeah, it was in the review. I tried. Yeah. I tried to bend it, actually bend it, and it wouldn't bend.
Truth be told, I think that right there is a reason why. I mean, your review is fantastic, but I think because you were going really in depth on the trailer like that, I think that's why it's getting so much steam. Because you were answering questions that people had that weren't getting answers in other reviews, and that's very important to have that kind of perspective on it. So,
that's true.
Especially Studio Ox thing, that helps too. Because nobody ever said anything Studio Ox. I don't even think they still have the people that have reviewed them afterwards. So,
no, I don't think so either. Hey, Ninja Bill, welcome in, man.
Welcome, Ninja Bill. But yeah, I probably will if the government's going to give me money. I think I'm going to use it to get Transformers. Who needs food?
I'm actually actually have a dilemma. I've been looking at the Nikon, what is it, the D7500 camera, which is the replacement for the camera that I have now. It's the model that replaced mine, and I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. It's so pretty. It shoots in 4K. It's like a real 4K. It's not upscale or anything, and I'm just like, man, that's so nice. And I was messing around with it at Best Buy the other day, and I heard about the stimulus package and everything, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, I do want that Toy World Constructor, but when's the next time the government's going to give me enough money to buy a $1,200 camera, right? Like, just outright. You know what I mean? Like,
truthfully. Truthfully, I'd love to get all 5 of those Gigapower, Gigasaur Dinobots. That would be really awesome.
Oh, dude, that'd be cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Most of them are less than $200 now, so.
There's a guy here. There's a guy up here at a flea market who's got all 5 of those, and he's asking, I think it was like $500 for the set for all 5 of them.
What? Wow. Are they? Wait. Are they metallic or are they electroplated chrome?
Oh, dude.
Because I want the electroplated, because that's how it was in G1. Metallic would look good on stop motion because it doesn't reflect anything, but I care less about that.
I think it. No, he said it was the first release. So whatever the first release was.
Yeah. So I think those are the electroplated.
Okay.
That's a really good deal. That's a really good
it totally
deal.
was. But he had a lot of stuff up there. He had a lot of Masterpiece and third-party style Masterpiece stuff. So Kato says the only thing I'm doing with my stimulus package is not canceling his pre-orders.
Right?
I will say for sure, 160 of that's being set aside for Scorponok.
Yeah, I that's what I'm going to do for Nikki. This is for her birthdays. That's what I want to get her. So I'm going to set that aside for her.
I'm so glad I'm like. So it's funny because like I was all in for Siege, but I'm not all in for Earthrise, and there's not a lot of stuff that's kind of come out. Like some of my other stuff is like not just to Transformers, it's to Robotech pre-orders that are coming out in the summer, and so I was just like, I'm kind of using what I might have used for Transformers is being used on that, because the rest of the Earthrise after, man, because I'm not getting Starscream, I'm not getting, like Scorponok at all, or Smokescreen, or the Quintesson, or the Alucon, or none of that stuff. Now I'll get some of the little Battle Masters and Micromasters, but I mean it's going to be a pretty light Transformer year for me, for Hasbro anyway.
Yeah, I'm only going to get characters that I don't have from the Earthrise line. That was something Nikki and I were talking about, and we're like, let's get characters that come out for the Earthrise, because we were pretty much all in for the Siege, and I still love all the Siege.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, there's certain characters like Sunstreaker and some of those I don't have that I was like, I think this is where I want to finally break down and buy them. Because there's certain characters I didn't get. I just always overlooked them because it wasn't, a character that I really cared for, or really I liked. And so, but this time, that's what Nikki was saying she wanted to do. She's like, there's a lot of characters that we don't have, and these are finally really good looking figures. And she's like, that's what I definitely want us to put with the with the Siege line.
Here's my question. So Siege was super popular. Everyone loved Siege, right?
Yep.
And I'm going through, like, I found Hoist at Best Buy, and I passed on him. But do you think people were more excited for Siege because it was Cybertronian, and then now that it's back to Earth mode, do you think people are just kind of meh on the whole thing now?
Well, after last night, me and Wilbur were talking, and that's what we both agreed on, is that, everybody was all in because it was Cybertronian, because we didn't have a Cybertronian. We had the one that was, oh God, I can't remember. It was the Generations, but I can't remember. It was based off the video game.
Yeah, the War for
Metroplex.
Yeah, but you didn't have a
whole. Well, it was actually more based on IDW. I found out later. It's because it doesn't look like how the video game is. I know everybody says that because it has the Fall of Cybertron voice chips in it, but it actually, I looked at the IDW look of it, and that's why he's got those long legs or shins or whatever, is because of however he was drawn in IDW at the time.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of conflicting information, but
that's the reason why we were all in for the Siege. It's because it is Cybertronian. And that's why, like Nikki and I, like we said, we're only going to get characters that we don't have and that look good. Now, I'll get Hoist because I love Hoist. But, Ironworks, maybe not. Wheeljack, Sunstreaker, yes.
I've seen Ironworks in person twice so far, and he looks phenomenal. He really does. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if you've seen him in person or not, but he looks really nice.
Yeah, we still had Earthrise where we are. They still haven't been put on the shelves yet.
Okay.
Well, and then what was there something I was...
Here's the thing.
The other thing is, I think people that maxed out like a lot of their, kind of maybe not so much cash flow, but maybe like, if you look at Earthrisers, there's quite a few duplicates of characters we already got. There's Smokescreen, there's Starscream, there's Optimus Prime, there's a Megatron coming, and then Input, he's not really excited about Ironworks. I wasn't really too excited, even though I got him. I was just like, I feel like I have to have him, but truth be told, if they'd released Brunt in a white color so he looked like Slammer for Metroplex, I would have gotten that, even though it's a recolor. But
that'd have been quick kick ass.
And I forgot about the Netflix Siege stuff. That stuff's coming out too, so maybe a lot of my money's going to that. So,
well, here's the other thing too. I think a lot of people get caught up in the fact that they're on Earth again, and they're kind of, it kind of feels like maybe they're going to be stuck on Earth, but there's no guarantee that they won't go back to Cybertron. Wave 3, Part 3, whatever the third part of the trilogy is, might be more Cybertronian modes because they make it back to Cybertron. Because Unicron. So here's a prediction just based on the toy line, right? So the next wave by the end of January 2021 is when Unicron gets shipped out. Okay.
Why couldn't we get this money back when that was trying to be funded? Damn.
Right. But so Unicron shows up to Earth, and then he just wants to kill the site. He's not there for Earth. He just wants the Matrix dead, whatever it is. Okay. Autobots are able to escape. They make it back to Cybertron. Oh no, what's this? Cybertron is really Primus. And then you have this giant Unicron Primus fight in space. And then, you know, Autobots, Decepticons, they do whatever they do, but they go back to their Cybertronian modes because they find out while on Earth Primus is really Cybertron. So now they got to go get the key to Vector Sigma, unlock his memories, unlock his ability to transform again, and then Primus goes to war with Unicron. That's my prediction on it. I am 100% wrong. I'm most likely 100% wrong on that.
And then the
But-
ponies
You know,
come in and save the day.
It's weird. I'm sorry,
I just said the ponies come in and save the day.
Yeah, definitely.
dude.
Definitely
That,
see that.
yeah.
That-
I was gonna say, there was an art thing. Proto Man on the Transformers Slag podcast was mentioning there was some artwork early on of a base mode for Unicron, and I'm wondering if they could. Now they can't re-release Unicron because that's a huge mistrust for everybody that crowdfunded it, but they can release a retooled figure like Primus with a base mode. Where, the Cybertron, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Kato, we'll see you around.
Take it easy, kiddo.
No, definitely, and that's 100% true. They could definitely re-release it, retool it. I mean, truthfully, look, that tooling had to. The reason why we had to crowdfund that Unicron, I really honestly think was because we were the ones who paid for the tooling, not the engineering, but the tooling for that thing. That thing was massive. It transformed. I mean, what is it? They said something like 20 points of articulation in each hand alone. That's 40. Yeah, that's 40 points of articulation in the hands alone on a figure that big. We're not talking Devastator. We're not talking. I mean, and this thing is what, 3 inches, 4 inches taller than Fort Max, and Fort Max is. Hold on. Let me count. So you got 10 in the hands. That's 10, 12, 14, 15, 15, 17, 19, 20 points of articulation on that one figure alone. And Unicron shows up and he's got it in just his hands. So I really think that we paid for the tooling on that one, not the engineering.
Yeah, because the engineering, they'd been doing it for 2 years when working on it. So, yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense.
And so that's what I really think. And so I think that if they were smart, they could easily retool a bunch of that to get a Primus out of it. They really honestly could. They could shave the spikes down. They could not include the rings. They could change the head. They can change the feet. Because all of that stuff
comes off.
Well, yeah, exactly. The head comes completely off, but it's a shell former, right? So everything lays at its feet. Everything lays on its back. All that stuff. So the feet go inside. Well, hell, you can change the feet. You can make them more square, make them look like boots instead of, I don't know, nail feet or knife feet, whatever. The head, like you said, comes completely off. The spike or the rings of the planet come off. So there's a bunch of stuff that they could do. Shave the spikes down, not have spikes on them, retool the shell on the outside. And there you go. You've got Cybertron. It's easy to do.
Now I kind of forget. I know Flint Dille wanted it to happen, but I'm trying to remember. Has anybody gotten any updates? Is the head not removable on Unicron?
No, the head is removable.
Yeah, the head's removable. Yeah.
So if you want to have it
off too.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, there were different face plates. I remember that, but I was trying to remember. Because I think somebody was saying the other day, I don't know what I was listening to, and they were saying, the head's not removable. And I was like, yeah, it is. Yeah. And I wasn't listening to something old. So that's where I was confused.
No, the head's removable. I haven't gotten an update on it. The only update I've gotten were the comic book updates and that it went into production. Those are the only 2 updates that I got on it. Nothing. I mean, they still got 9 months. So...
And as of right now, I'd say, let's push it back as far as we can. So, I mean, we're going to get it, but I don't want that rushed, and then we have all kinds of quality issues and poor quality control.
Oh, well, I don't think they can get away with is that. I think that's why this is being babied the way it is. I think that's why they made Zeta take their stuff down, because I think this is like the end all be all ultimate transformer that anyone that has it, this is going to be the greatest thing ever that came out of Hasbro on Takara.
I'm just shocked at like that we never had nothing was leaked, nothing was hinted at that this was even remotely on the radar. I mean, most people were saying the Arc when it came to HasLab. Some people were saying, well, maybe a Unicron, but they were like, oh, they couldn't really make it big enough, and then it turned out to be Unicron. But it's like there was nothing, and then it gets slapped like that day, and it's like bam! It was just like out of nowhere, and it's so awesome that they had such a dedicated group working on this. That they were, I mean, non-disclosure agreements aside, they were definitely wanting to make sure this was a big, huge surprise, and they had something to show that was awesome. But it also makes me wonder all these other leaks that sometimes they are in Japanese magazines, but sometimes they're leaked, not through those channels. And I'm wondering if that's Hasbro maybe, hey, go ahead and tell your little buddy on TFW or Cybertron.com, tell them what do they think of a Masterpiece RC? Yeah, tell them that. Yeah, from Takara. So I'm wondering if something like that does happen.
I'm sure stuff like that happens quite a bit. But I also think with the Unicron, I think for the longest time the fandom was saying how we wanted a Unicron, we needed a Unicron, we wanted this, we wanted it for so long, and finally it became Hasbro's like, okay, put your money where your mouth is, and everybody wanted to shut up at that point, right? There was tons of people back. Oh, look at the legs. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, it transfer. Oh, the alt mode. Shut up, dude. Okay, like a lot of those people were bashing on it and everything else. And I think what it was is that
it's jealousy.
It was jealousy. It was jealousy because of the price. Number one,
Yeah.
I can definitely see that. But number two, I think it was also kind of Hasbro kind of gauging what we would do, what we would say, right, as a fandom, just to kind of see if we would put up or shut up on this one. And luckily, we put up on it, because this could have been another prototype that never got released, another Unicron prototype that never got released. This could have easily been in that that spectrum of unreleased figures.
Before this one, I was always wanting that Beast Wars Neo Unicron.
Same here.
I wanted that so bad. When this came out, I was like, screw that. What? Beast Wars Neo? What? This is far superior. This is exactly what I wanted from '86. Like that was going to be a placeholder anyway from Beast Wars Neo, because that was that Unicron, right? But this one was.
I wanted the Beach Ball Unicron that was going to come out for '86. I still want that one.
So here's a funny thing about that Unicron. There's I think like 2 or 3 prototypes made for that figure.
Mm-hmm.
There is one TFCon October that somebody brings with him every TFCon October for the last like 4 or 5 years, and he's been trying to sell it, and no one buys it. And it's always at the tippy top of his like his booth, right? It's always up there. And anytime I ever watch somebody's dealer room walkthrough or whatever, they always stop. Oh, how much is the Unicron? And then they, okay, thanks. And you don't really hear the price. And they, okay, thanks. And they walk away. But then later on in the video, they're like, oh, that guy wanted too much. Well, bro, it's one of 3, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If the guy wants 10 grand for it, what'd you expect?
Exactly. Yeah. And still, like, I mean, that's a piece of Transformers history right there.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That's a big. That's not like something that was just like, oh, it's a vintage figure. No, this is like a piece of the history. This is like, a chunk of, I don't know, like the Berlin Wall, like, but a huge chunk. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything.
But it's also the fact that it's kind of like the Superman outfit, the one that was, because the show was black and white, they only had a couple of those. And when you have something like that I'm surprised that a museum hasn't offered to purchase it or take it. Let it be displayed at a museum because that's extremely rare.
Right. I know the Christopher Reeves cape. What I guess they called the walking cape. So it was the cape he wore while walking around instead of flying and stuff. Um, a private collector had that for years, and a museum asked to buy it from him, and he said no, he wasn't going to sell it because he's that big of a Superman fan. But
Mhm.
if they wanted to showcase it, he'd be willing to put it on display in the museum for a while, but he wasn't willing to sell it. So that could be what's going on with the George Reeves suits.
Mm.
And sometimes museums they'd rather buy something outright instead of put it on display for somebody because
Or lease it.
or lease it, right? Because essentially it's they're taking responsibility for someone else's property, right? It's not, and I've always felt like you baby other people's stuff more than you do your own. So basically, like if you drive somebody else's car, you're more cautious than you are in your own car, right?
No,
And
I balled the tires out.
Hopefully.
I don't know,
Unless
man.
it's from Enterprise, you're gonna ram the crap out of that thing.
I'll tell you this. I was not gentle. We were not gentle on the dude's Ferrari. So I promise you that. So,
Yeah.
So I guess the side note input story, when I was working at a car audio place, we had this guy come in. The guy was a loyal customer of ours, and he was loaded. And he came in, and he would always drop the keys off to his car, and we would go pick up the car. And then we'd bring it back and then do the work and then go drop it back off. The guy was always in and out of the country business. He was super busy. So he comes in and he gives us the keys, and he's, it's the red one and the neon green one in the driveway. That's all he says. Okay, well, neon green, I can think of only 3 companies that produce things in neon green, and their cars.
Dodge is one of them. Right.
Dodge, Porsche, and Lamborghini, right? Like those are the only neon green companies I can think of. So me and the install manager, we get to this dude's house, and the store manager dropped us off, and we're both standing there, and there we are, instead of right in front of this bright red Ferrari and a neon green Lambo. And we get on the freeway, and we're like, hey, we want to see which one wins in the race. Like first one back by, last one back buys lunch kind of thing. And we're going like 150 down the freeway the whole time. It took us about 45 minutes to get to the guy's house. It took us about half that to get back to the store.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like you probably felt like a Stunticon, weren't you, when you were in there?
Man, dude, I felt like the Stig. That's what I felt like. I was,
You felt
in and out of
what?
the Stig from Top Gear.
Oh.
No, dude, it was a really, really intense feeling because there's a thing. So here's the thing about supercars, right? Or exotic or that type of car, right? Most people look over their shoulder when they change lanes because the mirror's not enough. Well, in those kind of cars, there is no looking over your shoulder because there's no window there. It's all car.
And massive blind spots.
Right, massive blind spots. So I found out that day that if you think a car is next to you, punch it, put the blinker on, and get over and keep your fingers crossed. That's what I found out that day.
Oh God, I'd have a heart attack. No.
I tell you, dude, it was a blast. It was a
Make my
blast.
anxiety go up right now.
I would be, if I ever got to drive a Lamborghini, I'd probably be like, first off, whatever happens, but also, and then I'm going to tip my shades. Where I'm going, I don't need roads. I'm going to fly on that.
Give it wings. Oh my God.
So it's something I noticed in chat, and I think I must have skipped over it or something. So Ninja Bill says in here what was it? Somebody said something about Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if somebody said something. Maybe we were talking, but Ninja Bill says that that's what I might do. I had 5 comments saying my camera needs to be better. Oh, that's when we were talking about what we were going to buy. So he was thinking about getting a camera. Ninja Bill, I gotta tell you, man, I love you, brother. But I watched that Lightning Collection video, dude. Your camera quality is fine. That's whatever quality of internet that those 5 people had. So
Sure.
you're showing stuff at 1080p. That detail is incredible. Ask them what quality. Well, what I would ask is ask those people, okay, well, what quality were you watching it at? Can you let me know where the poor quality was? Maybe it was a camera angle. Maybe it was refocusing on something else or a background or whatever. So I would ask those questions, those kind of investigative questions for those 5 people, because your quality on your reviews is fantastic, man. So I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what they're talking about, but they think you need to improve on that. So I think it's their internet, personally.
And sometimes people just want to be a butt.
That too, yeah. So I'm wondering if it's on older reviews, maybe. I don't know. So it wasn't specific because I was looking for comments on even that last one, and I didn't see any comment about that. So.
Well, I think honestly, I think his last review was fine. I don't think he needs a Ninja Bell. I don't think you need a new camera, man. Whatever you're using is perfectly fine, 100%.
Now your phone camera when you're doing the live streaming, and I think he uses his phone. I forget.
I'll be right back.
You have to remind us, Ninja Bill.
Yeah.
But if you use your phone camera that looks at you like the FaceTime camera, then yes, that is a poor quality, right? When you're streaming and stuff, that's happens because that camera that's on that FaceTime type camera is almost always of a lower quality than what you have on the other end that actually you shoot your reviews and stuff with. So
Yeah.
So that may be a thing, but who cares? We can all be a whole bunch of icons, and people will listen to us, and they'll see how stupid we are, right?
Or you can say, Ninja Bill, fuck you, buy my camera.
Exactly. But I want to know how that stovetop's going, man. I want to make sure that he's got Inferno, Red Alert, Ratchet, and First Aid, and all around that, so they make sure that nothing happens bad there again.
And as we wait to hear him actually make a comment back, we do that every time.
Sorry.
It's like every time. Oh man. I did get noticed that my cliff jumper and hoist is supposed to be coming in the mail soon. So kind of happy about that. But
are you guys getting that? Because we got a whole bunch of thunderstorm and rain here. Are you guys getting any of that over there?
No, we haven't. And I saw where you were saying you had a lot of thunderstorms. We've had a lot of wind today, but I've not seen the weather report today. So more than likely, Nikki keeps up with that better than I do. We've had a lot.
Mine have gone up to the northeast, so
yeah.
I don't know how that works because I'm here in the Midwest and stuff, so we had like just all of a sudden just had some crazy plague type weather.
I know. I was talking to Optimus Wilbur after the show, and he was like, "It's like what those people say. The apocalypse is about to happen." He says, "I saw there was these locusts that cover the skies, and then you got this here, and then all the storms." I was like, "Oh, it's another Tuesday for us." No, but I hope we don't get the rain because I've not had the person that helps with mowing my yard hasn't got out here yet, and I know if we get rain, it's going to be like a jungle because it grows quick. Because our house is actually in the middle of a field, or what used to be a cow field. They're dairy cows, but whenever they got rid of the cows, we had our house built here. And the grass here is very much fertilized. I mean, it rains and you have a little bit of heat. Boom, you have a foot just grew overnight. Like, what in the world? Have to get a bush hog. 3 days of rain here. So 3 days for Ninja Bill too. Okay. I'm going to ask Nikki.
Yeah, because he's up above me, so he's also in the Midwest as well. So yeah,
It's been
we got
raining
some
here all
crazy
day.
weather.
I'm checking the weather now because I'm like, wow.
I mean, it was like we're talking about thunder that, like both sets of storms. It was kind of weird. Like we'll get thunder here from time to time, and there's lightning crashes and all that, but freaking like the thunder that was rumbling, it would just that was the approach. That was the storm. Like it started with that thunder enough to rumble the whole home, like the
Oh,
walls and stuff like that. I mean, it was, and then one of them was like a really long rumble, and then a really like a rumble, 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 and then it was like, and like that's what shook the walls and everything, and it sounded like a freaking plane crashing or something like that, or Godzilla was stomping around. So
It says on Saturday and Sunday we should have some rain showers coming.
that may be that storm. Then it's traveling pretty slow over to you. Then
Yeah. And Colorado has snow.
I hear Arizona's going to get snow or something as well.
2 feet of snow in some places in Colorado. Oh, I see the tri-state. Oh, y'all did have a lot of in the Midwest. Some powerful thunderstorms coming through. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. So, is there anything else y'all going to get with your stimulus package that we're going to get?
I want to get a new computer for sure.
I thought about it. I thought about getting a new laptop. Because like we were talking about game systems, I'm actually on the verge of thinking about going to a PC, a gaming system with a laptop, instead of getting a new Xbox or anything like that, and go the PC route. Thinking about it, haven't made my mind up about it yet.
Well, I would say like one of the things with like a new computer is it's like you kind of want to have like, what do you want to do with it, right? Is it going to be used for streaming? Is it going to be used for like video editing? Is it going to be used for gaming? Because there's a lot of different routes you can take, and it just depends on kind of what is your main focus, and that's kind of the computer that you want to go into getting.
Yeah,
for me, I need to stay focused because toys are expensive. Car parts are expensive. Like aftermarket car parts are expensive. And ACP, you just brought up a new computer, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, that's a good idea too. And then
I definitely got to get brakes. I want to put brakes on the car, but I could do that myself. But I got to get the parts to do that.
Yeah, I got to get a new tire too. So one of mine's starting to run kind of low.
oh man, you guys are talking about brakes and tires. I'm talking about superchargers and short throw shifters and
Oh shit! Nope. Nope. I just like to get my soul car going.
So here's like here's probably a good kind of discussion topic, and I mean I think so. So, what has there been a figure like that you have passed, like you saw in the store, you passed on it, but you have regrets about it? Like but I mean, like you didn't get it later or it disappeared or something like that. Like mine is Generations Metroplex. I may not regret that. But is there a figure like that you get that you actually saw in store, like not online or anything, saw in store?
What was it? Was it Energon or was it Armada where Cybertron
oh no, I got a phone call.
Sure thing. that transformed during the. I got Nikki got me the Unicron, but I saw that one, and I wish I had got it when I had a chance to get it, and I just passed on it. I just was like, I'll get it maybe later, and then I never saw it again. That's a figure I wish I got, and the other one right now has been Ultra Magnus. Omega Supreme, excuse me, Omega Supreme. That has been weighing heavily on me. Going, man, I really, really, really want to get that. If not, I probably will cry in my pillow, like I still do. You know.
So I passed on the Metroplex, right?
Right.
But
Sorry,
I
guys,
got
I'm
the
back.
Hasbro. Okay. So I passed on the Metroplex, but I got the Hasbro MP10 with the trailer and spike and spark, roller and everything. Like, so I feel like it was a good trade-off, even at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I didn't even take MP10 out of the package. Like, I haven't even enjoyed it after all these years.
You
And
thought
it's just like, I know. No. And I know that the Metroplex, I would totally have taken that out and played
I'd buy
with
it. How much you want for that MP10? I'll give you $50 PayPal right now, shipped. Right now.
Well, he's sitting in there with my Masterpiece Ultra Magnus that didn't come out of the package yet.
All right, man. I'll give you $100 for both of them right now, shipped right now. $100 for both. What's up? What's up? All right, look, man. You talked me into it. 110 for both. I can't go no higher. That's it.
Hey, you're already buying other stuff from me.
Breaking my balls. 125. 125. You breaking my balls. All right.
So, anyway, Kato says 111. 111.
111.
111.
You know, Blur would make an excellent auctioneer.
Honestly, I would say so. There's two for me, right? That the first one would be MP01, and the second one, of all things, of all stupid things, you brought up this question, and I got him like 2 weeks ago, but it was Generations Dark Mount was the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I passed on that figure. Every time I saw him, I would pass on, whether it would be loose or new or whatever. I'd pass on him all the time because it was the coloring, right? I was like, that's supposed to be G-Axis, not Dark Mount. Like, who's Dark Mount, right? But like secretly, I always loved the way that he looked in that blue. And finally, I saw him again. I was like, man, he looks good. I'm buying him. And then MP01's like, I never. When that figure came out, I was like broke ass college student, right? So I was like looking at Walmart, going, "Man, that's $100." Oh man, I don't know if I can do that. That's and you start running through your head, right? Of like how to get it, right? And then
live on some ramen for a little bit.
Right, exactly.
No, he's thinking about how am I going to get out of the store and get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, because I'm thinking, man, as soon as I hit that door, that buzzer goes off. I gotta do a light jog. I gotta conserve my energy, and then run for 3 miles in order to get out of here, right? But yeah, and then MP10 came out. I was so mad. Don't search Dark Mount on Pornhub. I'm gonna search Dark Mount on Pornhub. I'm gonna
be like, oh, look at all these Generations Transformer figure reviews.
You know what? I'm gonna do it right now, live on stream. Let's go Pornhub.
you click on one and you're just like, oh, this one actually has a story with it. Oh, okay, so there's a babysitter involved with this transform. I'm confused already. Like,
I'm actually not gonna click on anything. I'm just gonna type in Dark Mount into the search results and see what happens.
You've been dark mounted.
The Borders of the Tomb Raider movie. There's a naked Lara Croft. There's
I've already seen it.
I'm gonna let you use your imagination on what Throat-a-mania is.
Throat-a-mania.
Yeah, it's.
Well, you can tell what year is if it's like in the 70s. The penis has sideburns. So I mean,
what the hell? Oh my god, ACP, that was great. Sorry.
Honestly, I forget sometimes. Like, I have to apologize to Larkin I gotta apologize because sometimes I forget I'm not on my channel. So my bad. Like so.
Doesn't have suppers.
Oh yeah, because the stream or whatever you guys have gotten pretty raunchy with the marital aids, and Larker's like, wait a minute, this is my channel.
Yeah.
So now Larkin knew how Inutabi feels. They start going off on like racist rants.
God.
I'm sorry, stereotypical rants.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I don't even
But
know.
you said okay, so it was
Sideburn.
so Straxus, that was your one you
Yeah, that was one, and then MP01, and then MP10. I remember me and some buddies were at Toys R Us when MP10 came out, and they were all like, "Man, this is awesome! He looks cool!" and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Man, forget that MP10, dude. He's too small. He doesn't look right. You know." MP01 was better, and I still stand by that. I really do. I do like MP01 versus MP10. Not saying that MP10 is bad, but you know, Optimus Prime to me is always supposed to be commanding, right? And he's supposed to be big and towering and commanding. And I thought MP01 encompassed that perfectly, where MP10 didn't quite hit that mark. It was, you know, it was a nice upgrade to the G1 toy, but you know, it just didn't have that presence that MP01 had. So,
you know, I'm trying to think of like because I remember seeing my deal with MP01 is I didn't like the proportions, but I loved the size of it. Right, like it was a huge Optimus Prime. It would have been like the centerpiece of anybody's collection, and it probably is for a lot of people too.
Those are all like trigger words. I could have gone with a whole spill, but I'm being nice. Like no.
I mean,
big. I mean, Optimus. I mean, like
proportions
was perfect. It had sideburns.
I mean, you could have your Optimus Prime sitting right on top of your Dark Mount, and it would look incredible. But I would say one that if I was thinking about a deluxe, because I didn't really think about that, and for that is one figure I passed all the time was was it Black Shadow? Is that his name?
Sky Shadow? Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, Sky Shadow. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, Black Shadow, isn't that the real name for Master Force?
Black Shadow is the Japanese name, and then Sky Shadow is what they name him over here.
Yeah, because I'd seen Thunderwing, and I wasn't really all, because I was like, it's not even a pretender. But then I saw Sky Shadow, and I was like, man, that looks really kind of cool. I like the colors on it, but I just always passed on it, right? And it wasn't until I saw Crosshair's production of the little animated kind of like, it's like a side story to his main story of his series, and it had a really awesome guy voicing Black Shadow, Sky Shadow. I don't know. I think the character's name was Black Shadow. Anyway, but it just made that figure look so awesome, and it was so much so that I had to buy it. And that's, I got it pretty recently just because of that. Because I was just like, that was one I did pass up on a lot and saw it a lot because it was an unknown character. I could kind of see how he wasn't quite flying off the shelves. So,
yeah, the what is it? I keep wanting to say Thunder Clash. It wasn't. It was Thunder. What's the? You just said it. It's the recolor of that Sky Shadow.
Thunderwing.
Thunderwing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thunderwing. I kept seeing that, and I was always like, he's not. He looks like Thunderwing. He does look like Thunderwing, right? He's got the proportions there. He's just a smaller Thunderwing, colorings there and everything. But when I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's all right. It's just not. It's not big enough, right? And because Thunderwing
ACP,
Thunderwing just wasn't big enough for me at all.
Man, we're all 12 years old.
I couldn't deal with something that small.
Ana had detachable parts.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not trying to get down with that. So,
See, even though like not knowing the character well, I don't know if would Voyager have worked for him.
for Thunderwing, I think here's the thing. So I think Thunderwing, if they're going to do a new one, Thunderwing should be Commander class, hands down. Command class, because he's supposed to be huge, and I want more of an IDW kind of inspired Thunderwing over a G1 one if they do make him Commander class.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
because he's supposed to be humongous. He's supposed to be bigger than Tarn, right? He's supposed to be like bigger than Overlord. He's supposed to have these giant wings and stuff. He's just commanding and huge. And I could see him about Jetfire size. But Thunderwing to me, you know, always in my mind, he's always been big. He's always been that Jetfire, maybe a little shorter than Jetfire, probably like a head shorter than Jetfire. He's always been in that size. And
did you not read the Marvel comics with the Matrix Quest?
I have all of the UK IDW and all the Marvel IDW release stuff.
Well, I mean, the Matrix Quest was like for us, was like for our Marvel, not the UK. I mean, I know he was in the UK stories and everything, but he wasn't that big of a character. He was probably about the size of Prime or Rodimus, maybe.
Yeah, I know, and even reading those stories back in the day, I always felt like he should have been bigger. Just, you know, attitude wise, with the attitude that he had and the personality and characteristics that he had, always felt like he should have been bigger. And not by like much bigger. I'm not saying that, but I really like what IDW did with him size wise. So I think IDW, if they did make it, he should be a Commander class figure. But the deluxe one, I was just always kind of like, nah, he's not big enough. So if they made him today, like I keep saying, Commander class, but if they're gonna go for like a more G1 accurate, I would probably say maybe Voyager, maybe or maybe a bigger leader, slightly bigger leader, like Leader Class Prime, like the new Earthrise Prime, because he's the biggest leader in that wave so far, height wise.
I think like when they have the Black Shadow, Sky Shadow, and that was the recolor remold of a retool of Overlord. I felt like that was too big for that character.
Oh, you're talking about the retool when they from the Titans Return. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if Thunderwing could be a Commander class, then I think Black Shadow, Sky Shadow doesn't really need to be that much bigger. So I think Voyager would work for him because, and you know, I guess it goes to my impression of him from Crosshairs Productions when Black Shadow and Lockdown are talking to each other, and he's using that animated version of Lockdown, and that Generations Sky Shadow is really short. Like they're really short figures. But that animated Lockdown is a huge. So, and he made him kind of like at eye level based on his directing style. And so that just kind of made me feel like both that it kind of raised up my feeling of that Sky Shadow mold, just because he could be eye to eye with Lockdown in that respect.
Wasn't a third party company that came out with a Thunderwing?
Yeah.
It was
it was MMC, I thought, wasn't it?
Which one did you say, Crimson?
Yeah.
I think it was MMC, Mastermind Creations.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. And that was huge. That was a nice size. Is that a size that you would like him to be? Input? Don't answer too quickly. Take your time.
Oh, sorry, what now? I had another phone call.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I was just saying, is that the size that you're talking about? Him being that size?
Yeah, that's very true to what IDW had. And if you look at the other or whatever, I want to say is MMC. Where's Sardo when you need him, right?
Mm-hmm.
but like I think MMC did it. But if you look at that company's lineup, he towers over the rest of that lineup. And he's got these giant wings and everything, and plus if we're gonna do commanders, we can't, like, I feel like Hasbro can't stop at like 3 or 4 commanders, right? Like, I mean, you got the big G1 bots, you've got your Jetfire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, like, you know, maybe a Tidal Wave come in, and then Skylinks, and then who do you have after? Who is in that commander lineup, right? Like size wise, who would be in that?
Well, Nikki was saying something that she was thinking. She was like talking about the commander, saying, you know, she was saying that she thinks that that's going to end up being our new Titans.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that for sure, and I 100% agree with that. But I feel like who you can't really, like I said, so it's who else in besides maybe 4. There's going to be maybe 4 boss that you can arguably get. So does Hasbro start reaching into alternate continuities, like I said with Thunderwing, to make him a commander class figure and make him look IDW-ish?
Well, I mean, that if you with that route, then what size would you do Overlord? Because
I think here's the thing. I think Overlord, if you redid Overlord as a commander class would be way too big.
Yeah,
Right.
but there needs.
But I think
the leader class and that class for him, though, right?
I think if you did Overlord, truthfully, the Overlord that we got with the lines that we're currently getting, I think fits perfectly.
Well, I do like that figure, the one that we got from the Titans. That's one of the ones that I did get from that line. But I always felt like he should have been a little bit bigger than a leader class.
I agree with that, but that's like I said, if you look at the stuff that we're getting now in terms of scale, I think that figure works a lot better now than he did a few years ago.
That's true. I was thinking, like I was spitballing with Nick, and we were talking about, I was like, I would dig it if both his parts were Voyagers. Voyager plane, Voyager tank, and then the 2 Voyagers come together and form him. Maybe
that'd be
that's
cool.
us.
I think if they did because Double Dealer's a leader class, and he's a full leader. He's not like a trailer or some armor pieces either, right?
Right.
So I think that could work if they did 2 Voyagers and it ended up being leader class, leader sized or whatever. And here's the thing, we already got like a G1 style with the Titans Return one. So if they gave us like an IDW styled one,
right,
with the sharper edges and a more Cybertronian tank and stuff, I'd be down for that. But this is me, right? So I'm always down for a new Overlord anything. So
I'm with you too.
I like the leader class size for the robot, but if I would want a base mode, I'd want it to be kind of sprawled out like a commander class. But the only way to do that would make a really compact robot mode with lots and lots of panels.
Or how about make him a commander class figure? So here's a thought. So Overlord becomes a commander class. Itself is a leader size figure, and he's got a bunch of add-on pieces for his base mode. Would you buy that?
I would.
Say that one more time.
So commander class Overlord is a leader class, but to make him that price point, they put in a bunch of add-on stuff for his base mode to make the base mode bigger.
Okay. I would be for that if there's a use for those extra parts when he's in robot mode.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like how Shockwave had the little Sentinel drone.
Ninja Bill in chat says broadside. Yeah, definitely. And that's who I was trying to think
for
of
sure.
For the 4th one.
We should be getting a broadside. I think so. I mean, I do like the Titans Return, actually. I know a lot of people have problems with like the floppy like ankles or whatever on him, but I don't necessarily have that problem posing him. But I think he works really well, but it would be cool if he were bigger.
That was my only. So I bought that. I've bought Broadside twice, the Titans Return Broadside, and I've sold him twice. and and it's nothing against the figure or anything. Truthfully, it's just that mold was done better with Alpha Trion, with the Leo Prime that was done in it, the Japanese version of it, and I feel like, you know, even they recolored it in the Tidal Wave. It just that broad. It's not bad, not bad at all whatsoever. Considering that it's a tank. What is it? An oil tanker and a jet. I mean, that's kind of hard to pull off, right?
Mhm.
I just don't feel like he's big. You know.
That's the reason why I passed up on him, because I didn't think he was big enough. I felt like he was too tiny. Is that input? Are you still there, or is he's like?
I'm still here too. I can hear input.
Can you? Maybe it's my headset.
Well, what were you saying? Input? You're saying you feel like what?
I can hear you, Crimson. I can't hear input.
Maybe he's losing internet. Put it on the Wi-Fi. Input. Put it on the Wi-Fi. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened to input. Well, he said it is raining there, so that might be causing internet. I forgot about that.
That was one reason why I didn't get. There's a lot of ones I didn't get during the Titans run. I was not too keen on a lot of them, but I did get the Blur and the Cup. That went without saying, and but
Perceptor.
Perceptor, and
I wanted that reveal the shield Perceptor, but man, I feel like I'm glad I waited, because that Legends Perceptor with the blue eyes is just that's Perceptor.
Mm-hmm. And the Broadside, I was just like, when I saw him, I was like, he's just not big enough. And so I passed on him. And I don't have any regrets. I hope we get one, because it's kind of like with certain characters, like Ultra Magnus. The only reason why I like the character but never got it, because there was not a figure that Hasbro put out that to me looked like it would fit that the movie poster in my mind. But the scene looks
firing up at Unicron from the '86 poster.
Exactly. Yeah. And that, it looks beautiful. And then we get this Springer, and I'm like, oh. And then we're getting that RC. I'm like, yes, please. Just all I need now is a hot rod. I need Cup and Blur and Willie, and boom, that thing will be perfect. I was surprised that in the I was watching the third season so far, the Cyberverse, and we saw a Titan in the second series, and it looks like this season they're going to show a Omega Supreme, which I was surprised that they're with them being back on Cybertron, and that apparently the Quintessons have taken over Cybertron.
And that's, I don't know how I feel about, like, because I'm passing on the Quintesson toy, if only for the reason of that I already have the legendary heroes judges, and it's pretty superior to anything out there that I'd get. But I also feel like if the Quintesson, if it really is Voyager size, that's too big, because Cup is supposed to be able to hold one, or it's supposed to be about, like, I would say Bumblebee sized in comparison with Prime, if you go by the Return of Optimus Prime. or from Cup when he was pulling one of them along. Now it was animated with just his face, which was wrong. That was an animation error. But like he was pulling them along on the planet Goo, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he could be like the master judge, right? Like the supreme magistrate, rather than just a regular magistrate. Could use that as an excuse.
Yeah, and I did pre-ordering because but I also got the one that was from the Cyberverse, and I'm interested to see the difference in the two of them. I do like the fact that he's going to have a cage. Thought that was very very ingenious.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that's keeping a gimmick type feature, right, for a figure, because if they just release if they just release an action figure in the Transformers line, that's almost like a brand association, right? Like they know how people feel about action figures, but they also know how people feel about like the Revoltech Optimus Prime or the Flames Toys Optimus Prime, where those don't transform, and those are acceptable because those aren't in a main line, they're not in a store. So yeah, it's interesting.
I did see the tiny figures, that company that's making the smallest action figures.
Yeah.
The G.I. Joe line coming out that's that size. And I was looking at it, I was like, that right there for Triple R would be perfect for the Transformers. To have those G.I. Joes that size would be a good size comparison right there for Triple R. And they look good. The arms articulate.
Yep.
They have backpacks. They have guns. They have helmets. And I was like, wow. The only thing that doesn't move on them, they have a waist rotation, arm rotation, but nothing in the legs. But the paint apps on them look great. Trying to remember, Pixel Dan. It's got a video up showing off the Power Ranger, some of the Transformers, and the G.I. Joes. And so they look great. I want that, and I want the G.I. Joe, and I definitely want to get the He-Man from that line because they look really, really nice. Especially the Joes, because the Joes would look good standing next to the Siege characters.
Kind of height wise.
Yeah, height wise, because they're like 1.25 inches tall. And so
I'm wondering. I'm curious as to like what people. I'm curious how this G.I. Joe line is going to go, because it just seems so strange. Like, I mean, I get, Kato was talking about it's more like a masterpiece for G.I. Joe fans in a way, but it's just like if you were gonna bring back the Joe, I mean, I don't know, maybe Jazzwares was like, look, we could do 3 3/4 inch, but we're not doing vehicles right now. So let's do 6-inch Joes. If people like that, we'll get that market, right? And then we'll see what the market wants 3 3/4 again, because Joe's died at 3 3/4, right? Like that's when the line ended. So why would you want to go back to something where the line and I don't think Hasbro did that on purpose. I don't think G.I. Joe faltering was like the Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch. They definitely did that on purpose. But the Hasbro G.I. Joe, they were trying to keep that afloat because they were wanting another movie, and it didn't happen. So and that's kind of Toys R Us kind of finagling by putting them in with their cheaper stuff. But I just wonder, like, if that was part of the discussion, was we can't do 3 3/4 because that's already been done and it died.
Well,
so let's do 6-inch and see what we got.
They're doing 3 3/4 again. They're releasing more classic Joes, and a Hiss tank is coming. Now I don't know.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if
cool.
I don't know which version of the Hiss tank is coming. I don't know if it's the 80s one or the early 1000s 3 3/4 one, but I don't know. And it's something called, the line's supposedly called G.I. Joe Classics. It's 3 3/4.
Is Hasbro doing it, or is it Jackswear?
It's Hasbro doing it.
Okay.
Now I don't know. I don't know.
Is it on Hiss tank?
Yeah, should be. And it got announced about a week and a half ago, and it's a Walmart listing in their computer system, and it's 3 3/4 Joe's, his tank, and I think it's like about 6 figures, 10 figures or something. And I don't know if it's Jazzwares. I don't know if they bought the mold or rented the mold from Hasbro to be able to do this, or if it's Hasbro doing 3 3/4 along with the 6-inch line. I don't know, but it's happening. They're doing 3 3/4 again. Hey, Firebite, Ninja Bill later. Oh man, Ninja Bill asked me if he finishes this, I'll answer it now. The ARC that I ordered should be here within the next day or two. And I do have some paint lined up already to take that sucker apart and spray that thing down and make it look like a G1 ARC. So, and as I go with it, so I'm going to do an interesting thing with that ARC. So I know it's like supposed to be orange in this golden orange kind of color. But I'm going to do different shades of that orange and gold. So the wings might be a little darker than the centerpiece and stuff like that. I'm going to experiment with it just a little bit and see what works.
Are these going to be Walmart exclusives?
It looks like it's going to be a Walmart exclusive. The 3 3/4 lines, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was looking right here, because it's only for a Walmart listing. Huh.
And honestly, I think what it is too is that they saw the fan outcry with the 6-inch Joes. With G.I. Joe, certain G.I. Joe fans not being happy about the 6-inch, the way the 6-inch looked. I know a lot of people, if they said if the 6-inch looked more like the 3 3/4 inch figures from back in the day, they'd buy it. But man, I love the way that Scarlet looks. The only complaint with that Scarlet is that I don't think her face has enough red in it. If that makes sense, they should have used some kind of blushing technique to add the red to her skin tone. But that's where
I'm looking at a close-up picture of that. She does look good, but I want a Scarlet with a little more cleavage, personally. I mean, I know Lady J had a lot of that, and Baroness did too, but I just wanted a little bit different outfit for her.
I don't know, man. I'm totally happy with that figure, 100%. And the fact that I get to do so. Okay, so somebody just shut the 12-year-old up in the room real quick, right? Like,
I'm sorry, that was like
we were gonna see how long you went there Input before ACP.
I'm sorry. So see, the thing is, right, okay. He laughs at the innuendos, but when you're talking to when Crimson's all like, "I want my Scarlet to have big old titties," ACP does nothing.
I specifically said cleavage. Specifically said cleavage. I didn't say she needed to have triple F or double E's. So
hey, neither did I. Neither did someone's projected right there. Hey, I tell you what, you send me a Scarlet. I got tons of Milliput over here, man. I'll hook you up. All right.
Well, okay, now you beat it out of me. I really just want a naked Scarlet. That's what I
beat it out of
you. What y'all do your own time, that's fine. But
what are you talking about? We're doing this on your time here, ACP. We're on your channel.
I'm like, so you're gonna put a red wig on Input and
what? Hey, Input's not that lucky. You got to earn that. Oh crap! This is on the internet forever.
Forever and ever. I can't take
forever,
that.
Forever.
I did order Roadblock, which I like the way he looks.
I have two figures on. I have 2 figures on pre-order right now, and it's Destro. Even though we haven't seen it, I know I don't care. It's Destro as long as he's got a chrome face.
Exactly.
I don't care. He could show up in a white tux if he's got a chrome face. I don't care. and Scarlet. Those are the only two that I have on pre-order. I might grab Duke as well because I'm doing a stop motion series that involves GI Joe. It's a GI Joe Transformer kind of crossover thing. So I do need Duke, so I might grab that Duke. And
I've never been a Duke fan.
Huh?
I've never been a Duke fan.
Neither have I. So my thing with GI Joe, I think I've said this before, is that GI Joe, when it comes to military stuff is so bland and boring to me. Like tanks, I mean the tanks and the weaponry are cool, but it's always like bland coloring, right?
You want purple camouflage, don't you? Because that's what I want.
Hell yeah, I want purple camouflage. I want neon.
I want my his tank to be illin, while Optimus Prime is chillin'.
Oh my god, dude!
Big bad Brutalin Bruticus, G.I. Joe, and Transformers.
So that just killed the stream.
Sorry.
Thank you for.
I just went like totally 90s right there. I went full G2. I forgot we're never supposed to go full G2.
The big battle in Bruticus.
Yeah. Oh, G2. But no, I did you. We were also talking about the little miniature. Have you seen the tiny action figures input?
For what?
The ones for Transformers, GI Joe, He-Man, Power Rangers. They're like the tiniest action figures.
Like the little Lego things?
They're not
No,
Lego.
like the ones we got at Dollar Tree.
Oh no, I haven't. No, dude, I'd be totally down for some He-Mans and that stuff, and the He-Man and GI Joe ones like that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, they're inches.
I love their mid jazz pose. You know, they're like little like thriller pose with their fingers all stretched out. Mid dance pose. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I was telling Crimson, I said that would be perfect for Triple R for the size comparison for the GI Joe being that size and the Transformers. I told Nikki, that's what I want to do is set them next to the Siege characters because I think they're 1.25 inches tall. Pixel Dan had a video that was up today that showed it, and it looked. I think they look great. They come with a gun, backpack, helmets. They come with
and these are all in those blind bags?
They're not blind bags. They are. Let me see if I can find a link real quick.
Wait, yeah. I kind of thought it was kind of cool that, you could, like you didn't have those Dollar Tree ones weren't blind bags. I like that you could just pick the one that you wanted because there are just so few characters.
ACP for Nikki, there's some My Little Pony ones. Like they're not blind bags, but like those World's Smallest Transformers that me and Crimson got from the Dollar Tree.
Mm-hmm.
They have My Little Pony ones like that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and the characters are on the bag, so they're not blind bags. They look like blind bags, but you know if you're getting Pinkie Pie or Rainbow Dash or something like that.
Oh, let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to find. Let's see, the smallest GI Joe figures.
What was it on? What website was it? Toy Arc.
Pixel Dan had one, and
oh, so he was doing like a video of it then.
Yeah, he was doing a review, and there's another one right now. This SEO toy review. They've got one. I'm going to actually, and this one here's the Snake Eyes. So let me grab this as a link. Share in the because the Snake Eyes looked awesome. I mean, they look really good, and I was like, if that's the case, I probably would definitely be getting these guys for next to my Transformers, and also getting the He-Man figures. It's called the World's Smallest Figures, and this is and the one I just
okay.
did, yeah, it's the
Oh, they sent him. They sent SEO toy review. Oh, okay.
Okay, so oh wow, he's articulated too.
Yes, yes,
That's crazy.
yep.
Oh my god.
Next
Oh my god.
Dude, he might really be able to fit. That's masterpiece scale, I think, too. I mean, it looked good next to Siege, but I think that's masterpiece scale for those.
And so Snake Eyes Duke, Roadblock, which I'm going to have to get, and I don't know who the last one's going to be, but there's 4, and there's going to be Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Starscream, and Megatron that's going to come out from this line, and then you got the Pink Ranger, the Red Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the Blue Ranger that's going to come out. And then He-Man, they're actually doing a lot with the He-Man. They're going to come out with a Battle Cat, He-Man, Teela, Evelyn, Beastman, Skeletor, without saying, and then Panther. They're going to come out with those there, which look amazing. I was just
That is awesome.
yeah, I was blown away when I saw it this morning. I was like, wow. And they, you know, not only do they articulate, they come with weapons, and they just, I mean,
I just want
Man, I didn't even think
straight
about
up-
that. Like the chat was saying was, you know, we need a Marissa Fairborn. Dude, that would be perfect to go with Transformers. So if they get a Scarlet, can we just repaint her?
that might
honestly, I want an MP10 in truck mode, and I want Duke riding alongside that sucker, holding on to the side with a machine gun, just blasting Cobra members.
right. And
they're hanging,
too.
they're hanging out the back.
Yeah, dude, like just hanging on. No, they're hanging on the side, and Optimus Prime's doing his thing where he's ramming Ramjet. He's taking out Soundwave, and then you got like the Cobra Troopers up top, and Duke's just blasting them away. You know?
Dude, Cobra Troopers could be inside of Optimus Prime's trailer.
No. Cobra Troopers could be inside Nemesis Prime's trailer.
And it's on.
Yeah,
Let's get it on.
You know, a Dr. Arkaville sounds like a good idea too. I was looking in chat. I was just like, so Dr. Arkaville was never part of G.I. Joe. I think they got into some mask stuff, but they never got into like they got into Marissa Fairborn as, I think that was a BotCon. Was Marissa Fairborn was BotCon exclusive?
It was a TFCC exclusive, and TFCC also FunPub also did 3 3/4 human versions of Ultra Magnus,
Ultra
RC,
Magnus, and Springer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why didn't we get a Dr. Arkaville? He was in 4 episodes. That was.
We did.
Well, I guess it's not as many as Marissa, right?
Well, we did, but to be fair, he came with MP10, and he was he couldn't move or articulate. He just sat in Starscream's pilot seat or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, you're right. We did, but I mean, we wanted like a G.I. Joe though, like a G.I. Joe, because I think I've seen some customs out there, but I don't think they were. And it's no offense to anybody that made those customs, but I think the ones I saw were not very good.
And I would like to see them do with this size hairline, Dr. Mindbender and all of them. And maybe even do Spike and some of the other ones, you know, that we typically don't have. I mean, it'd be cool if they could have transformed, but the Transformers don't transform. So,
And I would like a Carly with some cleavage too.
oh boy.
he didn't say boobies, he said cleavage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but to get more cleavage, you need bigger boobs. So we've all been. We've all been.
Sometimes it can be a clothing change.
So we've all been motorboating. Okay.
No, look, man, we've all been to the Renaissance Festival. We know how this works. Okay.
Dude, she was 18 in the cartoon because she was driving a car and Shockwave blew it up. So
She's only 17.
we're not gonna get into that, but I said 18.
And for this
Yeah.
channel, it has to be 18.
Yeah, sure you go, right? Because Spike was because all the ages are all kind of messed up. Like because Spike is he's working on an oil derrick with his dad, so he had to have been 18, but he could have been 16 when he was on there, maybe. But I'm pretty sure even at that time there were a lot of restrictions on who could be actually on working on an oil plant for him.
At the age of 14.
Do what?
I was cleaning out crack houses at the age 14.
Well, but this is an oil platform, though. They have like all kinds of insurance issues, like even back in the day. So
There's like needles.
I feel like he got. I feel like he got, younger as the seasons went on, and Transformers were like, this doesn't make any sense.
It was that pink seat in Bumblebee.
And Bumblebee, aren't you a little young to be driving there, Spike? And I'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
Fuck me one more time.
Okay. This has got.
I was trying to read. Mess first says I kind of want these G.I. Joe figures to do the. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, these figures here, I was very surprised. I actually, when I saw them, I was like, wow. Now, I don't know, where they're going to be sold. I'm wondering if they're going to be sold like at Target or if Walmart's going to get them or not.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure thing.
Well, I think if so, the world's smallest Transformer line that you can get from Target for $5 a figure now are the same ones that are in those bags that me and Crimson got for $1 at the Dollar Tree.
Really?
You're just spending the extra $4 on packaging. That's all it is.
Okay.
So if you can find those blind bags, you're golden. And they're really cool little figures. But I'm really curious to see exactly what else we get from this company. Just because of what Hasbro, it seems like Hasbro's doing with all of their lines and stuff.
Well, I was surprised, like with the world's smallest figures, I was surprised that they have Mattel figures, Hasbro, and I was like, because He-Man, and I was surprised that, and now you're saying that Hasbro is saying they're going to come out with 3 1/4 G.I. Joes. I'm just very surprised that there's literally going to be 3 different lines.
You know what I wish for real would happen for a Comic-Con exclusive now, because I know it would never be retail just because of what I'm asking for, is that so Mattel and Hasbro have no problems licensing their stuff out to one individual company, right? Mm-hmm. Mattel's not going, well, as long as you have the Hasbro license, we're not going to give you our stuff. Right, they're not doing that. And the same with Hasbro. They're giving it out to anybody who wants it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can we please, for the love of God, as a Comic-Con exclusive, can we get a Heroes of the 80s 4-pack where it's Optimus Prime, He-Man, Jim, and then Lion-O done right there as a 4-pack. It can be like MP10 and then the Matty Collector He-Man and then like a Jim and the Holograms Barbie size doll and then the He-Man Matty Collector Lion-O or something like that. Heroes of the 80s 4-pack. Just come on, make that happen, guys. I'm throwing it out there in the ether. Somebody pick it up.
God help. They're actually going to do the Ninja Turtles in the world's smallest figures.
Dude, don't tell me that. Tell me that.
I'm in. Hot damn, it's the Ninja Turtles. I am fucking.
Are they articulated?
Yes.
Damn it. Now I'm going to have a Raphael riding on fucking MP10 behind Duke throwing ninja stars at.
They fucking look awesome. Let's see if I can figure out how to share this image in the chat. It's fucking crazy. And I just, like I said, I was like bored out of my ever-loving mind. And apparently they're going to come out with a Voltron.
Does he? What?
Yeah.
Getting my attention. I'm listening.
I know I'm a big Voltron guy too. World's smallest figures.
But here's the other thing: are they going to be $5 for each figure?
I don't know. That's a okay. So the company exists because they had Glowworm and they got the world's small. Holy shit! They got the world's smallest water guns from Nerf.
I have one of those. They're awesome.
And there's Optimus Prime, the world's smallest Pac-Man game. Oh my god, my brother would go crazy over that. Oh shoot, Care Bears, world's smallest Care Bears. Jeez, Barbie,
That's what I'm saying, man.
Crocodile Dentist, the world's smallest Rubik's Cube, and Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh my god. Sign me up, man. I'm in.
World's smallest Gumby. Oh my gosh. Let me share this. This right here gives at least a little bit of what they have, and this is on their Amazon's website, so that people can see all the stuff that that they're putting out. Wow, it just blows my daggone mind. Let's see. Okay, so Target. See, Target's going to have exclusives. So let's see what exclusives Target's going to have. Stretch Armstrong.
Does he actually stretch?
Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? How the hell are they able to do this?
I'm telling you, man.
I'm
telling you. It's frustrating. Because
they're
these
$4. They're $4 to $4.99. World's smallest My Little Ponies. World's smallest Rock'em Sock'em. World's smallest 8-ball. World's smallest crayons.
Jesus Christ.
Light Bright. World's smallest Light Bright.
Oh, sign me up. I want to stop motion Bumblebee playing with Light Bright.
Oh my gosh. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my God, all the things that you could use these things for?
You know what? Screw it. I'm calling it right now. If they do a world's smallest Crossfire, I'm having a Crossfire fight between Megatron and Prime.
Oh, that would be nice.
Crossfire! Nah, you'll never win, Prime.
Oh my gosh. And world's smallest My Little Ponies. Holy crap. And Ninja Turtles. Voltron. Motherfucker. Gosh.
Now, here's the thing: are those all in scale with the other lines? So, like, Voltron's going to be like world's smallest Voltron, but he's going to be like 3 inches tall.
Yep.
Is it in scale for real?
Yeah, they're doing them. Each figure is a inch and a quarter. So the lions are inch and a quarter. And
so when they combine, they're like 3 inches tall.
3 inches tall.
Oh boy, what's up? What's up?
Oh my God, this jeez, I got damn goosebumps.
Wait, what's $11?
That's just someone's pricing those. I just put up a thing out there. It's not the real price. It's prices you get from Amazon. I just put the list up there. If you go to World's Smallest Target, you'll see they're like $4 to $5 each.
Okay.
Yeah, but Amazon had them for like I guess sellers are getting them and charging like $11, $13. I was like, who the hell's going to buy that?
Big surprise.
Yeah.
Big surprise the sellers are scalping.
Yeah.
Scalpers are out today, boys.
I know, man. I didn't even know this existed. Oh, sorry, Master Fire. I've already sent out the links to the ones that's going to be able to join, and some more is probably going to come later. Maybe next time you can try and hit me up if you want to through Autocrit Primer, and yeah, that's how I'm doing them. But yeah, it looks, man, this is awesome. and the Ninja Turtles. I'm just going. That's it. You got the 4 turtles. You got a Shredder that's supposed to come out, and a Splinter.
You know what? I'm gonna say this right now. I want a world's smallest Technodrome. I want to have Voltron fight a Technodrome. I want him to show up to support TMNT. That's what I want to happen.
Oh man.
You know, and then they all land, and then Shredder's like, "What are you doing?" And then they're all like, "I'll form the head," and then he just like soccer kicks that thing across.
Boom.
And then you cut to like, you know, right beforehand, you always got to cut to Krang, right? And then like it's like so they come crashing through the wall, and Shredder's all like, "Ah, tonight I dine on turtle soup," right? And then Krang's all like, "But Shredder, where's my body?" And then he's all like, "Ah, shut up, Krang." And then you know, "I'll form the head," and he just soccer kicks the crap out of that thing back through the hole it comes from, right? Like,
Oh my god. Why did I not know these things existed till today?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I won't. Jeez, dude. You know what's funny? It's like I know what you're talking about with the 8-ball and the Pac-Man and stuff. I used to walk by that stuff and just kind of be like, "Oh man, it's an 8-ball. Like it's kind of cool." And I would always, because the 8-ball, if I remember correctly, was on a keychain. Yeah. And I was always like, "Man, that'd be really cool to stop motion, like to have like a transformer with an 8-ball, do it for stop motion, or like if I was doing like a crystal ball type of thing with like an actual puppet."
Yeah.
Like a wired puppet and stuff. I was like, that'd be super cool to have the 8-ball, but I was always like, when it was like $10 for this little baby 8-ball, you know, it's like,
Then,
I can't pull a trigger on that thing, man. I can't do that. No, hell no. So,
but $4 to $5, I can do that.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm really curious to see. I don't have those packages anymore. Damn it, I wish I would have kept one of the packages now, but because I'm really curious to see if those little blind bags, or I keep saying blind bags, they're not blind bags, but those little packages of Transformers that I got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to see if they were done by World's Smallest or what's going on there.
Yeah,
because they're the exact same figures. So I'm really curious to see what's going on there, but I don't know, man. Because Kato was saying that he got all 3 of the world's smallest Transformers, which it was Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron, I think. But those blind bags, there's also a Soundwave, a Grimlock, and a Starscream. So there's a total of 6 of those figures. So maybe for those Transformers, maybe World's Smallest bought some old.
Hey, give me just a second. Somebody's knocking at the door. Let me go. I'll be right back.
Okay. So now that I'm solo, this is the part where I get to say stuff on my own and spread my thoughts into the ether. So no, but I think the world's smallest stuff is really cool, especially if you're an animator. Thing with animation is, scale is really important. When you're animating something, whether it's stop motion or whether it's cartoons or whatever. And I think it's really cool that this opens up a completely different world where if you look at the Star Wars Snowspeeder that's coming out, the Black Series 6-inch scale Snowspeeder, it's $120, I think it is. And while, it looks fantastic, that price point though, right? So if you can get one of these vehicles shrunk down to fit these figures, just think about how cool that would be at, $15 for like a USS Flag or something like that, or like whatever it would be, whatever they would end up releasing at that scale. I think it'd be super, super cool. And then all the stuff that's never been done before, you can get you could probably get like Voltron planets, like a Voltron play set, right? With different things. You can get like if they did a World's Smallest Ghostbusters, you could get the Firehouse. You could get an Ecto-1 in that scale and everything. Yeah, dude, just the possibilities for this alone. I feel like could be incredible, right? Just it would just be incredible to see what they could do with something like this. And it also, like I said, it also opens up like a lot of the older figures that don't get released is because it costs too much money. You know, like you probably won't get a 6-inch scale Death Star, right? I mean, anything crazy like that. Or a Death Star playset, kind of like you did in the 70s, where it's just like a little section of the Death Star. Like I don't think you'd ever get that in a 6-inch scale, but something in like a 1-inch scale, man, that'd be super cool. And it just opens up, like again, man, it opens up the world. It's kind of like the 90s where they had like the Polly Pockets and the Mighty Max stuff, where those figures were around that size. And each playset was something like 10 or $15, depending on what it was and how big it was. But all of those figures always were in scale with those playsets. And I really wasn't into those as a kid, like size-wise. But I think it's super, super cool that nowadays you can have this entire playset and it would just like a 1-inch scale playset. I think it'd be super, super cool. And I think my problem with the Mighty Max and the Polly Pocket stuff is like their articulation was super limited, because I think it was just the hips that moved on the Polly Pockets and the Mighty Max figures, and the Mighty Max figures didn't articulate at all.
Oh, you're talking about the little figures that came out a long time ago?
Yeah. I was comparing them to the world's smallest stuff that's coming out, because like I was saying, like, you know, think about the play sets and stuff that we could get. Like, we're not going to get a 6-inch scale Death Star play set, but we can get a 1-inch scale Death Star play set.
Yeah.
And that would be like $20, $25 for something, you know. I mean, and that's super cool.
Well, think about the for the Ninja Turtles, you get Kane's or Crane's tank. Is the planet looking thing. My brain's not working. I can't remember what it's called. And the Ninja Turtles from the cartoon.
Yeah. The giant robot thing that he's in, his body.
The thing that he was also in that looked like a little miniature Death Star that had like an actual eyeball on top of it. It had treads and it rolled.
Yeah, the Technodrome.
God, you already said that. God, sorry, I got kind of distracted.
But I said that once.
I know you did say that earlier. I'm sorry, my brain just. My father-in-law showed up and he actually bought us a whole bunch of food. I was like, "Oh wow, thank you."
Hey,
yeah.
Who is it? It's your father-in-law. Leave it at the door.
I am doing a live stream. He wouldn't know what that is.
Back away from the tacos, old man.
No, we won't go.
Hell no, we won't go.
Gosh, could you think about for the Joes, you get a little miniature Hiss tank?
Well, I was saying that we could get like a USS Flag for like $40.
Oh shit, man, that would be so freaking cool,
right? It'd be crazy, man. I mean, it's like I said, dude. The possibilities for a lot of this stuff is almost endless, especially when they've got. And you got to think too, how much of this stuff got canceled back in the day because it was too costly to make.
Yeah.
Right. You had He-Man play sets, G.I. Joe play sets. You had all kinds of play sets and stuff, Turtles play sets, all this stuff because it was too expensive to make. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I remember the sewer play set was something like, what was it, like $40 back in the day, which is something like $80 now. Right. So that sewer play set wasn't that big, but shrunk that sucker down, you'd have sold a shit ton more of those.
Oh yeah. And these things being the fact that they will fit in scale with your bigger Transformers. I mean, that's what I'm all about. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be, finally have the Joes, it's the right size.
Right.
You know, Triple R is going to love it. I need to send it. I'll probably put it in Discord. But yeah, man, these things look awesome.
Hell yeah, they do. Dun, 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 Crimson appeared. Dun, 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 dun. There it is.
You know,
Crimson Raptors maximize.
We didn't understand a word you just said except for maximize.
I said Crimson Raptors maximize. Maximize. That might be at a pitch that doesn't work well on this microphone.
I'm just gonna leave that on the floor. I'm gonna let you pick that up later.
What?
Just leave it on the floor. It's like you did fine, Crimson. You did good.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, ACP.
No,
It's good to have some friends that can be positive.
That's right.
Hey, I agree. I agree. Actually,
That's what you did.
I'm like the Shatterglass version of Optimus Wilbur.
you are 100%, dude. I was watching that stream yesterday, and I was like, "Holy shit!" If Optimus Wilbur, like for real, if Optimus Wilbur had glasses and gray on his beard, I was like, "Damn, that's ACP." I was like, "What's up, Shatterglass ACP?" And then like I guess he would be like Auto Wrong Premiere or something, right? Like. Or like beta wrong Premiere, and then you'd be like autocorrect primer or something. There was like a Shatterglass universe or something. I don't know. I feel like
I'd still be Enu Raptor. That would be what I would be. You're Bizarkin and I'm Enu Raptor.
Gonna dig me a hole. Gonna put a nerd in.
Did you guys watch Inu Tabi? I don't know what topic you guys are getting. I'm sorry, I just came back, but I didn't mean to interrupt. But I kind of did. But Inu Tabi's, did you guys see what he won from Radio Free Cybertron?
Yeah, man, he won a bunch of stuff.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Oh, so
He even got some bots, man.
So we were talking after the show, and I was going to extend the offer. If you guys want to learn how to play the card game, I was going to teach the Rejecticons. And if you guys want to learn, come on, you guys are more than welcome to learn. So
sure. What do you do?
Well,
when is that happening?
Well, I don't know. I guess we're gonna figure it all out here in a little while. Not today, but like I guess maybe within a week or so. Because I know Arbitrary Hero wants to play as well. Because I think he's looking for people to play with online and stuff. But so let me turn my camera on. I'll show you. I'll give you guys some like quick tips if you want to. If you care. Yeah,
I do.
Well, I've played it, but it's been a little bit. But I know that like what is it like? I mean, I don't think I haven't bought any of the Siege packs. I might have bought one or two.
All right. So I'll give you the basic laydown. So here's Lord Megatron, right there. Okay.
Make you bigger.
All right. So I'll go over the basics for this. So here's Lord Megatron from Siege. What is this? Siege 1. Wave 4. Siege 2. So this is Lord Megatron from Siege 2. So here you have your health, your defense, your attack, your defense, and your health is in the middle. And then you have your abilities right here, your faction right here. Right here is his attack and defense in his alt mode. And then, what wave he is, super rare, what number he is for the whatever. And then he's got his leader and that he's ranged. Now, these come into play as well up here for certain cards' abilities. And then when you flip him over, you have his alt mode, which again lays out the same health, defense, attack, his ability. Now, the biggest thing you want to take away from this is that the stars on the bottom represent how many stars, obviously, that he is. You can only have a max of 25 stars in your deck. Okay. So this is 12 stars. So that takes up roughly half of your star count. Now, the other thing is that you can...
I want to have Omega Supreme and Triptych and Metroplex on the same team. Can I have that?
No, bro. No. That's like more than 25 stars. That's like 25 stars on the dot. So anyway, now you can only have one character on your team. One character of that card on your team. So what I mean by that is Lord Megatron. You can have Lord Megatron, and you can have Megatron Arrogant Ruler on the same team. And if you look at their star count, that's 22 stars right there.
Okay.
So you can have a combination like this, but you cannot have two Lord Megatrons or two Arrogant Rulers, but you can have two Megatrons as long as they're different Megatrons.
Gotcha.
So you can do that. And then, so like I said, 25 stars. Now there are some cards some attack cards that are really powerful that count towards your star count right there. So like Vandalize. Now Vandalize is powerful because it gets rid of all your opponent's backfield, so all of your weapons, upgrades, and all that stuff. So that costs a star, right?
Okay.
And if you wanted to have 3 of these in a deck, then it would cost you 3 stars out of your lineup, right? So, and then actually I'll just keep that one because I'll use this one. So, and then up here you have your orange pip, what's called a pip, and this represents your attack. Now each time you attack, you flip over 2 battle cards. Your battle cards is your deck, so you flip over 2 cards from your deck. So like whatever your top cards are, you just flip it like that and face it up. So there would be an orange, and then there would be another orange, right? So that orange would add to the attack power of the character. So like this Megatron is an attack of 4. So when he attacks with the 2 orange pips, it becomes an attack of 6. So that's basically the basic layout of basic breakdown of the rules of the game. And then different colored pips do different colored things when you flip them. Like white allows you to flip 2 more pips during your battle phase. Blue is defensive. Green you can pick up immediately after the battle phase and put into your hand, as long as you take something out of your hand to replace it into your graveyard or scrap pile, whatever. White and green, same rules apply. It's just, and then like here's a double blue, so that would count as 2 defense when you flipped it instead of just 1. Right there, like again, that's blue and green, so that would count towards your defense. And if you wanted to pick it up at the end of battle phase, you could swap it out with a card in your hand, and that would add to your defensive capabilities that defensive turn as well.
Now, what do you have to get? You have to get a starter pack.
They do have starter packs. Which I do recommend because they're very helpful when you're trying to play the game and learn the game.
Mm-hmm.
But they are crap at higher levels of play, which I mean that's like basic card.
That's like anything with even Magic.
Right, exactly. So that's pretty much the basis of the game. There's like there's action cards and stuff. 40 cards are a minimum of the deck. You can have as many cards as you want in the deck, but 40 is the minimum. Cards interact with one another as well. So like let me see. So if you got like Arrogant Ruler, says when this attacks, you may scrap an upgrade from your hand. If you do so, draw 2 cards. So an upgrade would be like where here it says upgrade, it says armor.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever Megatron attacked, if I decided to say, okay, I want to draw the 2 extra cards, when he attacks, I throw that card out of my hand, throw it into the graveyard, and draw 2 cards immediately before the attack actually happens. And then you would go into your attack phase that way. So if you got something in your hand that you could use it right there as well. And then his alt mode, what does his alt mode do? When you flip to this mode, you may play an upgrade. So when he transforms, you just flip the card. And then when he transforms, you may play an upgrade out of your hand. So which would be something like, again, so like Power Punch is an upgrade because it'll tell you right there. And what it is, it's a weapon. So you just play that directly. And you don't have to play it on Megatron. You can play it on whoever you got on your team. But you can play an upgrade from your hand immediately when he transforms. So like I said, there's different things. Like, and so there are certain character cards that have... There's a weapon in the game called Fusion Cannon of Megatron, which gives any Megatron equipped with it extra attack power. There's Ion Blaster of Optimus Prime, which same thing. There's a Matrix of Leadership, which you can only use on Autobot leaders. So like Prime and Springer and Hot Rod and stuff like that. Okay. It gives them extra attack, extra defense. Just stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, yeah. Now that I have somebody that I can play with that, Nikki will probably be more inclined to let me get them.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's what I'll
Is
do.
there... Okay,
run?
so like you... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to... Go ahead. I was going to just ask how much they ran.
They're usually I think they're $3.99, aren't they? Or supposed to be retail?
Booster packs are about $4 each.
Okay.
A starter deck, man, you can get the starter decks off Amazon right now for like $12.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I would recommend, honestly, if you really want to learn like more of an in-depth way of how to play the game,
Yeah.
I would recommend the Metroplex starter deck or the Devastator starter deck.
Okay.
Because Devastator is a combiner,
Mhm.
and so that teaches you how to use combiners and stuff. But it also teaches you a more in-depth, like I said, more in-depth way of playing. The original starter deck is just that. It's bare bones. It's what I just showed you. That's all it is.
Yep.
Metroplex gets you to Metroplex. Brings you flipping stuff. It's a higher attack rate. It's bold, which bold means you can flip whatever it is. So like if you have a bold 3, you flip 3 more attack cards, stuff like
Okay.
that. And it teaches you strategy for the game. It teaches, like I said, they're more in-depth starter decks with the Devastator and the
That's the one I'll look for, is the Devastator one.
the Devastator one, like I said, is like you can get the starter decks off Amazon anywhere between like $12 to $20.
Okay.
So, and if you want to, I'll make a starter level deck, because none of my decks are starter level anymore. So, I guess like, to help you guys learn, if you guys want to learn, I'll make a starter level type of deck.
Yeah, I definitely do. When Nikki gets check comes in, then I'm going to work that into my budget to get.
Okay.
So I've been wanting to do it for a while, but no one around us. I'm the only me and Nikki's the only Transformer people around here.
I gotcha. Yeah, we're talking about me and Larkin. We're talking about setting up a webcam, and just playing over a webcam feed. So like we could jump in StreamYard or something, and then
or you can use my website, Bitter Tea Media. We
Okay.
can all jump on there, and you can use it. We have the ability to have multiple people on there, and I can make it where it's private, where no one else will see it, except for us.
Okay. Yeah, Oracle just said she play too.
Okay.
Because she's the only other person. There's not only other person. There's like 10 of us here in town that play like religiously. And then so me and her are like
So-
2 of those 10 people.
So I was kind of thinking like how that would work, like a one-on-one, because I've seen those videos and stuff. But if you had like, let's say you had like, 4 or 6 people like this, right?
No, you can only
Then
do
we're-
one. You can only do one-on-one. That's how
Yeah.
the game is
Yeah.
set up and structured.
Because otherwise, well, I mean, like the way the camera's set up, right? Let's say like everybody has like the point down on their card set or the decks or whatnot. So it could be done with 3v3, right? But the problem is you'd have 6 people talking all the time, and I'm not sure that would work. It seemed like it would work better with one-on-one.
Oh, you're talking
Know
about like
what I
if I
mean?
did it with the website?
No, I'm just like even like something like how StreamYard's set up, or
Oh yeah.
because you'd have because each pair would be playing their own game, right?
Mhm.
So I'm just curious how that kind of works out. I wonder what the logistics, kind of how that would work out.
Well, you can only like I said, you can only do one-on-one. Me and Oracle have done a 3-way battle in the card game before, and it's okay, but the game is really structured to be one-on-one, 100%.
Okay. So I can get Nikki into it because she loves Magic
Absolutely.
the Gathering. So
I think okay. Let me. 'Cause I think I'm understanding, because I think I'm kind of making it more confusing the way I'm explaining it. What I mean is, okay, so if there was, let's say you had like Oracle, Nikki, ACP, Input, Larkin, myself, and I don't know, somebody else. So let's say you did 3v3. Then if we were all on the same stream and everybody's rearranged, right? So the person that's above them is against the person below them, right? Then you could have it to where, okay, like, the bottom left goes, and then the one on top, and then the bottom middle goes, and then the one on top, and then the bottom right, and then the one on top. You see what I mean? What I'm trying to explain? Like,
So wait, you're
we could
saying
have all of us together.
yeah. So you're saying like how this is set up right here. There'd be 3 up top, 3 down below. And then
Right,
and
right.
one thing you could do is if it's the person that's is their playtime, if you want to do it that way, you would just make that person the bigger one and put the other ones on the side
That could work too. Yeah, I didn't
if
think
you
about
wanted
that.
to.
Yeah. But does that
And
sound too complicated though? Like
No,
input,
that's
like what you were thinking?
so here's the bad thing. So okay, so the way the game is structured to play, immediately after your attack phase, my defense phase kicks in. Immediately.
okay.
So when you right after you flip your battle cards to attack, my defense phase kicks in.
So this is more like Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's like a mixture of Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that would be the only thing that I could see severely, because the game can be as fast or as slow as you want it to be. Just depends on what you play. Like I play a defensive Jets, and Jesus, dude, they swing for like something like 15 each turn. But
Mm-hmm.
but getting them out because they're defensive, good luck. And the game is really slow because of that. So but I also play a Nemesis deck, which is all aggro, which can, I can kill an entire game within like 4 to 5 turns. So, but the way the game is structured, like I said, after each phase, the next phase immediately kicks in. So if you guys wanted to watch or something, like you guys totally can.
Right.
It would have to be like a structure, maybe something like this, or like 3 of us on top and bottom, and then we just kind of show like what our defensive cards are and stuff like that, and just kind of do it that way, I guess.
Well, I don't even think we would need to show the defensive cards because you're not really supposed to show your opponent that.
Yeah, you are. Like what I mean by that is so when you flip hold on, let me.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, when you're flipping from the deck, but what I mean is like the ones you're holding in your hand, you don't reveal those. Everything else is on the table.
You don't show your opponent that. But the
the
only thing I can think of what becomes a problem is like my Nemesis deck, right? The reason why that Nemesis hits like a tank the way it does is because at any point in time I'm flipping like half my deck over to attack. So there's like 25 cards laid out in front of me that are attack cards with orange pips, and I got to add all that up. And to be honest, to the game, I got to show you guys the cards, right? Okay. So like I'm holding up 25 different cards and trying to count to show you guys. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, have you thought about y'all doing like a live stream of 2 of you playing?
That's what I was about to suggest.
Well, Oracle was about to suggest that too. No, honestly, I haven't. I mean, I'm totally down.
Because I would be down to seeing that and watching.
Your Nemesis Prime deck too.
Like bad or for worse, or for bad or for good.
I am not answering.
Oh, man, dude, they just nerfed my Nemesis deck. She's so happy about whatever card she just sent me. Dude, I haven't got anything from you.
It's on Instagram.
It's on Instagram? I haven't.
Not a message from me?
No. Did you share a link 3 hours ago?
Yes, that was it.
Okay, well, I didn't click the link. All right. I think they just nerfed my name. I'm gonna be so pissed. All right, Villainous Spotlight. It's a stratagem, which is a new type of card in Wave 5. If your starting team is only Decepticons, your deck can have up to 2 extra star of orange. Oh boy!
I gotta get rid of Lionizer.
Oh!
And there's an exact one for my.
Oh,
listen to those. Listen to those nerds.
I'm gonna fuck you up. 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 I'm fucking you up. Yeah. All y'all getting fucked up.
It sounds like he's gonna go F up Galvatron right up in the asshole.
Right?
Dude. Okay, so for like the longest time, my main complaint about Nemesis is like I had to run an Autobot with him to make the deck work, which was Lionizer. Right, but now Now I ain't got to worry about Lionizer. Look. I'm shitting over the fan and I'm hitting everybody. That's what's up. Yep. And you are getting screwed, and you are getting screwed. Everyone's getting screwed. It's like an Oprah episode in this bitch now. Somebody's paying the taxes for getting screwed, and it ain't me. Hold on. Is that card rare or super rare?
Uncommon.
It's uncommon?
It's uncommon. If I remember correctly, it's uncommon.
It's a 1-star. Okay, hold on. So if your starting team is all Decepticons, your deck can have up to 2 extra star cards of orange pips. This has 1 star on it. So, awesome.
You could still run a Decepticon.
I can, but this would take up that one of those star slots.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Roadhugger, done. Roadhugger for Lionizer. All right, done. Problem solved. That's it. All right, sorry, just completely.
And there's Titan Masters we can add too.
Yep.
I'm getting my Clobber whether you like it or not. That's gonna boost my Dino deck like it's nobody's business.
Hey, you do you, but you just remember, I got Nemesis, and compared to Nemesis, Grimlock's a
And
bitch.
you need to get that rare cog because I want to do that. I want to build that cog Grimlock deck.
You know who Nemesis Prime's bitch is? Grimlock.
Fuck off.
Oh,
I got an immediate.
I was gonna say
F-off on that one.
Strika, but input went a different direction.
No. Grimlock shows up in the town. He's all like, "Oh, you think you're the best fighter in town? Let me pimp slap you and make you learn your place, Grimlock."
Maybe a Nemesis Lord Megatron deck?
Oh, dude, Nemesis and Lord no, that'd be too many stars. Because Nemesis is. No, I think that'd be 25 right on the dot. Oh, Nemesis and Lord Megatron.
Maybe, man, you gotta be glad the kid at League on Sunday didn't take that pack.
Oh, I am.
I handed it to him, like, pick one for this one or this. Okay. And he pulls
Oh
it
my
out.
God. Okay, so here's a story real quick. We were at one of our league games, or one of our league games a few months ago when Wave 4 just came out, and is it Siege? Yeah, Siege 2 had just come out, and they were pulling all these booster packs. Man, okay, so in Wave 4 there's 4 super rares character cards. Lord Megatron is one of them. General Optimus Prime, which is Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, was another one, and who's the other? Springer? No, not Springer. There's Octane or Octone was one of the other ones as well. So these kids show up.
Octone. I always thought that name was so dumb.
I agree. So we're sitting there, we're opening up all these booster packs, man, and this kid, just out of nowhere, he's like, "Oh my God, I got Lord Megatron." He's 6, right? I've got Lord Megatron, and all of the table just stopped. We're like, "What? How did you? God damn it!" So like, we're all defeated because at this point in time, like if he plays Lord Megatron, because basically it's a blind bag type of game. Like you open the packs and you play what you
Right.
get, right?
Yeah,
And we're all like, dude,
which is a lot of fun.
No, it's
I
totally
really like
fun.
how that's.
It's
Yeah.
totally fun until somebody pulls a Lord Megatron or Galaxy Upgrade Prime for their card,
Which somebody did
Which-
the next round.
which is like, okay, great. So now we all just lost because this 6-year-old poor did Lord Megatron, and his dad was all like, you can't play Lord Megatron, no, because that's too easy of a win. And kid got super upset. It was kind of like throwing a pissy fit, like he couldn't play Lord Megatron. And because the dad was like, you have to make it fair for everybody, because somebody's going to pull a Hot Rod or a Springer or something and not stand a chance at it. And it was true, because no one at the table could stand a chance against Lord Megatron because no one pulled that Galaxy Prime. So next turn, 6-year-old's brother pulls a booster pack. Oh my God, I got General Optimus Prime, Galaxy Upgrade Prime. Kid's 8.
You said it just like that, huh?
It sounded just like that. And I was like, oh man, are you serious? And the dad's like, same rules apply. You can't play them. So then the kids are like, we all like the dad, but the kids are kind of,
The mom rules the roost.
yeah, the mom basically lets the kids get away with murder, and the dad doesn't have a whole lot of power over the kids, right? So we're sitting there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I pulled an Octane. I was like, hell yeah, let's mess this up. Let's mess it up for everybody. And then I
Was
like,
it
"No, no."
premium octane?
Or unleaded.
It was mute yourself again. Octane.
I'm sorry. I thought that joke was gonna be funny. ACP liked it.
I did.
No, it was a good joke. I'm not gonna lie.
And by the way, Nikki was already listening to what we've been talking about. She's like, okay, I think we could get that on payday.
Yeah, I just looked. It's the Devastator deck is used at 17, and then new is 21 or 22.
Yeah,
I was trying to send you a link. I was trying to send you a link in Amazon, but I don't know how to share it through the Amazon app anymore. They updated it, and it's like you can't share that anymore.
It won't work for me either. You got to do it from the computer now. It's so dumb. It's just like, why do you have a share button there if it doesn't work, Amazon? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'll pull an Octane, and then I was like, all right, cool. And a buddy of mine was like, no, man, play Octane. Fuck those kids. And I was like, man, but they've, but they've been nice about, Lord Megatron and Galaxy Prime and stuff. Look, Galaxy Prime has something like 26 health, okay? And he's got 3 weapon slots, and he's got an attack of 6 off the bat and a defense of like 5. Like this card is ridiculously overpowered, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, dude, it's only fair. Come on, man. It's like, it's fair. And he's like, no. Fuck those kids. I'm gonna play Octane. And he grabs Octane and he gives me like his Springer or whatever he got. And he's like, you're gonna play Springer, I'm gonna play Octane. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna argue with this. This is gonna be funny. So he sits down.
Hey, I posted the Devastator link in the chat.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
So
You're welcome.
So he sits down, and he starts playing against the 6-year-old, and he's like, hey, that's not fair. I'm gonna use my Lord Megatron. And he's like, no, you already picked the card for this round. And the kid got super mad. He's like, well, I don't want to play. And then so Buddy's like, so you forfeit? I don't forfeit. I don't know what that means. And he's like, so you quit? I don't quit. I'm gonna play Lord Megatron. So it became this whole thing between the two of them, and it was hilarious. And
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, I'm putting this. I want to put this in my wish list to get next when we get paid. There we go. Thank you.
And I'll post the other 2 links, the Metroplex deck and the starter deck here too. I don't know how Input feels about the starter deck because there was kind of like
starter deck's
like,
trash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were gonna say, but I'll post it in here too.
No, post it for sure, like definitely. But there's a lot of, like I said, that original starter deck is extremely outdated at this point.
Yeah.
So,
but it's kind of fun to get to know the game itself too.
Well,
wait a minute. This isn't the starter deck. This is a Bumblebee versus Megatron deck.
Yeah.
How the hell did I miss that?
So that's the starter deck from Wave 2. They did the original one for Wave 1, and then Rise of the Combiners, which was the second wave, had the Bumblebee Megatron pack, and that deck sucks too.
It does. It looks the art. Hey, the art alone is worth it though.
No, I don't disagree.
The
So the reason why I say those 2 decks are bad, truthfully, is because
Metroplex looks awesome.
Because it's
it does.
Yeah,
Crap,
dude,
that
the art
looks
looks sick. You should look at the card Protected by Metroplex. That art looks wicked. Or Height Advantage. There's another wicked artwork. But those decks, but those decks are meant to be designed to split between 2 people. So you play the game, and each person has 20 cards each, and then 2 characters each, and it's so slow and boring and bad. It drags out. Like honestly, with those 2 decks, if you split them up, it makes the game unfun. It's not a fun game to play that way.
Yeah, because I think there's only just the 40 in it. So, but it'd be kind of cool to kind of have, and you got cards in there that are useful rather than pulling random decks and then having a bunch of cards that aren't useful. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, they are common cards, but at least they're ones that you could use a lot.
Yeah. Well, ACP Crimson, hit me up, man, when you guys want to learn how to play.
Definitely. I already put those into the wish list of what to get next.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've been wanting to play, but like I said, nobody around here other than Nikki. I mean, she would, but we do Magic, and one of our friends.
The subreddit, the Transformers subreddit, has a local play by state. So if you go to that subreddit, you can see anyone in your area who plays.
Oh, okay.
It's Transformers TCG subreddit. One word.
We'll write that down real quick. Say it again.
Transformers TCG. Tom, Charlie, Gavin.
What? Tango Charlie Golf.
Whatever, dude. I'm not military.
Tom, Charlie, Gavin. I'm like, I could get the Tom, I could get the Charlie, but Gavin, I was just like, I would say Gabrielle or Giselle or something, but that wouldn't make any sense because it's got to be.
You know what? This is why you ain't got no friends, Crimson.
Oh,
He's got
you know
friends.
what? I'm a dinosaur. All my friends are dead.
You got
Except
a
for Chris
friend
Pratt.
in me.
Who tells you what to do?
You got a friend in me.
No,
ain't
I
Toy
tell him
Story.
what to
Shut
do. Oh my god, we're nuts. Okay, here's a whole bunch of links in there, ACP. So
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, guys, I need to go. I got a cosplay contest to judge tonight, and I need to take a shower and start getting ready.
is that what
Your
you kids
showers
call
are
it
like-
these days?
Your showers is like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, but I
There-
also got to get dressed for the cosplay contest.
Oh, what are you going as?
I am going as Dante from Devil May Cry.
Really?
Yeah, and my one line is going to be Strawberry Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So they're gonna be like, hey, do you want anything to eat? Strawberry Sunday.
So truthfully, I was thinking you were gonna go as Vegeta. I just was thinking that you might try that.
Well, honestly,
You have the hair for it, man.
I do. I can go as like Super Saiyan Vegeta, but that voice is really hard on my throat. So, and if you stop being 12 years old, ACP. But yeah. I mean, I can kind of do it whenever I want to, but eventually it starts to be a drain.
You should. You go.
And
You
you
go
go-
just got a
find that
question for you. Is
strawberries-
Nikki around?
no.
What do you mean, no?
It's on the scouter, and then Nikki hears the voice, and then her temperature is over.
And then it's gonna be
It's
like,
over 9,000!
There you go.
oh god. She felt my Dragon Ball Z Super. She's like, what the hell is this?
Oh, she felt your Dragon Ball?
Oh, she always does. But and it
Her
was
his super Dragon Ball.
I don't really know if they're super ACP. I mean,
I got 7 of them.
that's a lot. On my own planet, we actually have 4 each person. It's like the male anatomy. We have 4 balls.
Oh.
I saw Piccolo naked once. He has no dick. It's really weird because they're plant people.
They're plant.
It's detachable.
Look,
Oh,
man, I'm
man.
sorry. I sometimes I forget it's not my channel, and that's my bad.
And that's the reason why it's 18 or older. Because,
You got to be old enough to go to clubs, but you don't have to be old enough to drink.
Look, I'm just saying I think it's best I just switch back to Strawberry Sunday.
Strawberry Sunday. All right. Well, you have a good one. Make sure you videotape it and share it with all of us.
Definitely. I know the owner
not
posts on
not the
Instagram.
Strawberry Sunday.
Strawberry Sunday. A crimson raptors. But yeah, if you follow it on Instagram, I'm sure she'll have post the pictures. Jeebus, that was hard to say. So
Cool.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess I'll call it a night. I think because Nikki
All right.
came in here. And
Nikki's in the room now, huh?
no, she's already left. She heard you talking. She was gone. She's like,
She did an about face. Nope.
Nope. Done. She says there's groceries that need to be put up. So
I need
Oh,
a
you got
better training partner than Kakarot.
Me Grimlock have to make dinner, demonstrating finesse, whatever that means.
Well, guys, y'all have a good one. Have a good night.
Are you calling me a loser?
Never.
'Cause I don't know how to put up groceries or cook.